This is the Dallas Cowboys.
And welcome to Texas Stadium and happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Whether it's part of the pumpkin pie or we're just the hors d'oeuvres for the later meal, it's pleased that you share your Thanksgiving menu with us.
Well, Dick, if we can't be at home with our families, it's nice to be able to share Thanksgiving with all these nice people.
And it should be a great game, and we have a sellout of some 65,000. Some of those will be late arriving here at Texas Stadium on a beautiful football day. Crisp temperature in the high 50s. The Cowboys and the Patriots, they're both looking for at least a wild card spot. Neither can afford a loss today. And for Dallas, it'll be Danny White, the veteran at quarterback.
Danny's heard his share of boos here in the stadium during the season, but right now he's the starter. He's playing with an injured left shoulder, could be a problem. And behind an injured offensive line. Injuries to Cooper and Posderick, the starting tackles. Herb Scott and Brian Baldinger, two guards, have been pressed into service. Literally 5 guards across that front now. That's not good news for a quarterback.
When that guard moves out to tackle, he has to be alert for that on-rushing defensive end. And the New England Patriots' Ken Sims, who was a #1 draft pick, is finally living up to that status. He could be troublesome today.
Well, on that side, Sims and Tippett, both very tough. Sims finally living up to his preseason laurels as a top draft pick. You see him sacking the quarterback here. And Tippett, very dangerous. You'll find him dropping down to a 3-point stance, and he'll be right over Brian Baldinger. Again, not good news for a quarterback.
It's been a disappointing 7-5 year for the Cowboys, but Tony Dorsett, never a disappointment. He's been solid throughout. We'll be watching him. And on the other side, the New England Patriots, young Tony Eason. If it weren't for the success of Dan Marino down in Miami, we'd all be talking about this young man. 19 touchdown passes, only 5 interceptions, and he has some speed burners to throw to.
Well, he's got some good tools to work with. Among them, 4 wideouts that can run a 4.45 40 or better. Now, if you want to scare defensive backs, I don't know of a better way to do it, Dick.
The man that can well appreciate that has joined us, former Miami great, our NBC colleague Bob Greasy. Tony Eason, though, with his youth, is facing a Dallas defense that likes to mix it up. They'll be very aggressive. You've got that magic chalk in your hand. What are you going to be showing us today?
Well, I'm going to have the luxury of having to look around. I don't have to watch the quarterback all the time, and Eason is probably the hottest quarterback around. Dallas will go with 7 defensive backs at a time, and the thing that's going to do to Eason, he's going to have to read the defensive coverage. They're going to blitz their 4 front men, but also the linebackers. There's 7 backs. They're going to be blitzing in there. Sometimes he's going to be able to pick them up, and sometimes he's not. If he reads it right and the receiver breaks off the pattern right over the middle and he gets him the ball in stride, he can make some big plays and score some big touchdowns for the Patriots. But it's going to be fun watching Tony Eason against that aggressive defense.
Bob, we'll look forward to your analyses throughout the course of the game. Welcome aboard. Happy Thanksgiving. And now let's go down to the field. We're ready for the kickoff. Raymond Berry, Hall of Famer, wide receiver, one of the greats of all time, taking over for Ron Meyer as head coach of the New England Patriots. And across the way, Tom Landry.
We mentioned it early. Much at stake here for Landry. He's put his reputation on the line a bit. You wouldn't think a coach with such great success and such a wonderful record would have to do that, but I guess in the NFL, you're no better than your last game, Dick.
Cowboys in white will get the ball first. Tony Franklin, Texas native, to Gary Allen. Allen at the 2. At the 20. And out of bounds at the 23-yard line. And here come the Dallas Cowboys, and veteran Danny White will be calling the shots. Tony Dorsett looking for another 1,000-yard season. He's close. Timmy Newsome, big at 235. Tony Hill has had a disappointing year. Some feel that he's not been going 100%. His own teammates have made that comment. Doug Donnelly, White Lightning from Ohio State. He's healthy and back in the starting lineup. And Doug Cosby, the leading tight end receiver in the NFC. And those are all guards. Scott moving out to tackle. Titans are Rafferty really a guard. Peterson and Baldinger a guard is at tackle for the injured Phil Posderick. We'll see how New England attacks it. Complete to Hill, and Hill has a first down at the 45. The defense of the New England Patriots, Steve Nelson in on that play, Ken Sims, Dennis Owens, and Toby Williams, the front 3. The linebackers, Andre Tippett, he has 12 sacks. We'll be watching him. Steve Nelson, the veteran. Larry McGrew has moved inside for the injured Weissoon, and Don Blackman, number 55. Ernest Gibson, they just picked on him at the left corner. Ray Claiborne of Texas at the other side. James and Marion at safety. First down, Dallas, 44. to the line of scrimmage. Good pursuit by Claiborne, the cornerback. Check that, was Dorsett who makes the run, and no gain on the play.
Good penetration by Steve Nelson to stop that play in the backfield. It did not make the tackle. And Dick, I think we learn more about ourselves in adversity than we ever do when things are going well. We're going to learn a great deal about Tom Landry's Cowboys today. The pressure is on, the heat is on, and this is not the kind of game that they have often played on Thanksgiving. This is an opponent that is playing good, solid football today.
Oh, my, look at this, though, Merlin. An injury. One place where the Cowboys could ill afford it. They already have 5 guards in the offensive line, and now Kurt Peterson, one of their steadiest players, is injured, and John Hunt, just activated, a rookie from Florida, will replace him.
Coming right off the injured reserve list, the only other offensive lineman listed is Dow Ockman, and he's a converted nose tackle, and they certainly don't want to use him. That is bad news.
There's a rookie Hunt in at right guard. 2nd and 10. Tony Hill stopped at midfield after a gain of about 6. McGrew and Nelson in on the tackle. It's 3rd and 4.
Danny White was dumped last week. He was punting, was not playing quarterback, knocked him down on his shoulder, and he wasn't able to throw the ball very well, and here he is back in the ball game. They're concerned about him, but he's throwing the ball very well today. His main man right there, Tony Hill. Landry had a little one-on-one talk with Hill, said, "You're the guy that we've got to go to." They've done it here early in this ball game.
Little audible move to Hill, who's out to the right. Donnelly to the left, shotgun. And incomplete. Tony Dorsett had it for a moment, or is it James Jones? Jones just in for Dorsett, unable to come up with a catch, and New England will get the football. Just activated, John Warren from Tennessee. He's been with the Cowboys before as a punter. Danny White, when he was taken down as the #1 quarterback, then assumed the role as the kicker, and now with White back in there, it's Warren who will do the punting.
I believe they got...
It's White apparently in this situation. It is going to punt.
They've opted to let Danny punt it.
If indeed that's what he's going to do. Oh, how did he get it away? Roland James was right in on White. And the ball will be down at the 21-yard line. It was tough for James to miss that one. Roland James from Tennessee after Danny White.
Right here on your screen, Roland James, the man that's going to come blitzing inside. Excellent shot. Watch him as he goes all the way in. He just leans inside of the punter, Danny White. I don't know how he missed that ball, but you can see it perfectly from this angle right there. And it looked like he was afraid that he was going to bump White, so he actually pulled off on the play. Otherwise, he would have had it.
In shying to his left, he cost himself the block. Now the Patriots' first play from scrimmage, and Craig James, who played his college ball on this field for SMU, is smothered after short yardage. Tony Eason, second-year man at quarterback. James, a rookie, signed out of the USFL. Derek Ramsey, the ex-Raiders. Stanley Morgan, Stephen Starring, speed on the outside, and Lynn Dawson, the tight end. They use the H-back and tight end. Holloway, Hanna, Morris, Wooten, and Haley, the offensive line. That battle between Hanna and Randy White, 2 7-time Pro Bowlers, should be a honey. Great protection. Stanley Morgan, is it a catch? No. Incomplete. Broken up by Ron Fellows.
One of the changes Tom Landry made this year, Fellows at the corner. He's done an excellent job.
Defensive line, 4-3 set up with Ed Jones, John Dutton, Randy White, Jim Jeffcoat, who leads in sacks. Mike Hegman, Eugene Lockhart has replaced Bob Brunig, bad back at that middle spot. Anthony Dickerson, the fine athlete. Everson Walls, Ron Fellows, Dexter Clinkscale, and Michael Downs, the deep 4. It's 3rd and 8. Intercepted by Downs, and it's a touchdown. Michael Downs, his 5th interception of the year. He made his move, and he was home free.
Perhaps the one thing that Eason has done best during this season is to avoid bad plays. With plenty of time to throw the football, great protection, he makes a bad choice here. Goes to the outside. See how much time he had, and Downs just read it perfectly, cut in front of the receiver, and that's the kind of play that will get this crowd back in Dallas's corner.
Raphael Septien hits the extra point. The defense has given the Cowboys the early lead.
We can perhaps see this a little better from the other side of the field. As Eason goes back, he'll be throwing into the camera here. You see him waiting and swinging across, only to throw it into the arms of Michael Downs.
Oh, happy Thanksgiving, Michael Downs. It's 7-0 Cowboys. So in the first 2 minutes, the Cowboys defense strikes. Michael Downs picking off the Eason pass, 27 yards for the score. Raphael Septien to kick. And Tony Collins, who now has volunteered as a kick returner. He was the #1 running back when Ron Meyer was the head coach of the Patriots. Scuffed to the left and short, and one of the up men brings it back. Bo Robinson is out to the 40-yard line, so good field position, make it the 39, as Robinson, one of the tight ends, who actually played fullback as well, brings it back. Eason, who has been burned seriously for the first time, as we told you, had thrown only 5 interceptions coming into this game.
5 interceptions, 19 touchdowns, a wonderful ratio, and really had avoided a lot of the bad passes that youngsters end up throwing, but that one he'd like to have avoided.
Both wide receivers to the right with Derek Ramsey, the tight end split away on the left side. And James caught in the backfield by Jim Jeffcoat. No one got to Jeffcoat, the #1 pick of the Cowboys a year ago out of Arizona State.
Jeffcoat getting tremendous penetration from his right defensive end position. The Cowboys will screw up your blocking assignments by moving back and forth on the line of scrimmage. Jeffcoat will be right out of the left side of your picture, and look at how quickly he's on Craig James. James didn't even have an opportunity. Brad Morris, number 75, out there trying to block from his center position.
Eason, the quick out to Stephen Starring, and he's out of bounds at the 46.5.
People are used to seeing Pete Brock in that center slot normally. Guy Morris in there. Brock's knee just has not come around. He's got a bunch of calcium and a bunch of cartilage rolling around in there. Could not go against these Cowboys, but Morris has certainly had his experience here. This is his 25th game. Of course, the former Eagle. He knows all about the Cowboys in this stadium.
A gain of 11 on that last throw by Eason. Short of the first down, 3rd, and call it 3. It's closer to 3 than 2. James can't handle the football. Bill Bates was coming up to make the hit, and James may have taken his eye off it. Incomplete, and the punting team is on for New England.
Bob Greasy laid it out early that there's just a little bit of time on the line of scrimmage. When the Cowboys are putting that kind of defensive pressure on Eason, he has to make the decisions quickly, and I think the young man's a little jittery right at the moment.
Rich Camarillo, injured in the preseason and just returning to the New England lineup. Great year last season when he led the NFL in net yardage, punting 37+. Gary Allen at the other end for Dallas. Beautiful high kick. Fair catch at about the 8-yard line. So Dallas will start deep in its own end. Paul Dombrowski, 47, first man down for the Patriots. A 44-yard punt. Flag is down back at the line of scrimmage. Dick Jorgensen indicating that Dallas was offside. That'll give New England a first down. It was 4th and less than 5, so on the offside penalty, the Patriots will keep the ball. Raymond Berry. What a man, 51 years of age, played his college football in his town at SMU.
Defense, first down.
One of the Cowboys just a little bit eager to jump in there and get himself a shot at that punt. Cost his team, in essence, a turnover. New England Patriots have to be extremely pleased about that. Let's see if Eason can settle down a little bit, get his troops rolling.
First down at the Dallas 49 on the penalty. Wide open over the middle, and that's the play that Bob Greasy was talking about. They were coming with 6 or 7 men, and that quickie over the middle works for Tony Eason as Stephen Starring is close to a first down. Bob?
Well, it's right, Dick. What we were talking about right up here at the top. He sees the linebackers blitzing, comes right inside here. Eason reads it very well, gets the ball to him, could make a big play out of this one.
With all of that extra rush, that opens up the center short, and Eason found his man. Clarence Weathers now is in as wide receiver for New England. Second and short. Craig James appears to have the first down at the Dallas 37. Randy White.
Ooh, you can hear Hog Hanner and Randy White colliding, a couple of real mooses, and they played each other a few times, twice during regular seasons, a couple of times in the Pro Bowls. And I don't think I've ever seen Hog Hanner more up for a personal battle than he is with Randy White. Great respect on both sides of the line of scrimmage between these two great All-Pros.
54 Randy White, and Hanna 73, the left guard of the Patriots. First down, New England. Eason, plenty of time, wide open, the tight end. And it's down to the 21-yard line. Derek Ramsey, 17 yards for Ramsey, who has caught his 51st pass of the year.
Ramsey with 8 receptions last week, well over 100 yards. The H-back. And again, Eason with all kinds of time to throw the football. And that's one of the weaknesses of this Dallas defense. If you can catch them in that flex, it's hard for them to get a lot of people on that quarterback. It's on the long downs, the passing downs, that they bring the pressure on you.
10 minutes left, first quarter, 7-0 Dallas. Draw play to James. And he's inside the 15 to about the 13. A good pickup on first down, about 8 yards. Jesse Craig James, 215-pounder, played with the Washington Federals for a couple of years. And, of course, Ron Myers, former coach, was most happy to bring him to New England, and now Myers gone, and James is the starter for the new coach, Berry.
Playing very well. In fact, some said had Myers not been there, he would have been starting sooner. Myers did not want to show favoritism to him.
Second and short. He's got some blockers and has the speed to get outside. Will be close to a first down at the 11.5. Lynn Dawson, the tight end from North Carolina State, threw a good block.
Patriots working the ball down the field. James with excellent speed outside, but with good vision as well. And he talks about running under control. Said he likes to run at about 75% acceleration until he can see that opening and then kick up to full speed. On that play, of course, seeing it outside, it looked like he wanted to go back inside. Is very close to the first down.
You know, they talked, Merlin, about all the recruiting trials and how you try to get a great athlete to come to school. SMU got Craig James because his girlfriend, who was a year older, had already gone to SMU. Everyone else wanted him, but he wanted to go where his girlfriend was. That's why he came here.
Well, you saw the measurement, just about a half a foot short. It's a great opportunity to go for it here. Love to see teams take an opportunity like this to throw a play-action pass, high-risk pass, and that's something that Raymond Berry would appreciate. His old quarterback, Johnny Unitas, had a great ability to make that call, and he would just destroy you on a 3rd and short with that play-action throw.
3rd and inches outside the Dallas 11. I don't think he made it. Mike Hagman and Eugene Lockhart were there to greet him.
I believe he actually lost yardage on the play, Dick, and it will be interesting to see whether the Patriots will take the 3 points or go after it. Some tremendous penetration on the right side of the defense. James coming over behind Robinson's block. Good penetration from inside by Lockhart, 56. Rohr, 50. They were all over James in the backfield, and he did. He lost about almost a yard on that play, and we're going to see Franklin in the ballgame.
Franklin, who has come over from the Eagles and found a very happy home in Foxborough. He is 16 for 20 this year, and this one will be 30 yards. Ooh, the Cowboys are almost offside. Franklin has the 3. But for the Dallas Cowboys, a moral victory in stopping the Patriots shy of that end zone. Timeout, 9:08 remaining first quarter. Dallas 7, New England 3. Tony Franklin officially a 29-yard field goal to cut Dallas's lead to 7-3, and now the Cowboys will get it for the second time. They scored, of course, in case you just joined us, on a pass interception by Michael Downs. Gary Allen at the 6. And the former Hawaii Rainbow fumbles it out of bounds at the 28-yard line. Keith Lee made the tackle. Cowboys come on the field offensively with a 7-3 lead on this Thanksgiving Day in Texas. Tony Dorsett finally wrestled out of bounds, shy of the 39-yard line. Appears he has a first down. 11 yards for Dorsett, the Heisman winner out of the University of Pittsburgh. He's gained 1,000 yards in high school and college and every full pro season. The only thing that stopped him from 1,000 was the NFL players' strike.
Tom Landry said something else yesterday that I appreciated. He said Tony Dorsett has really become a full-blown leader on this team. And when you ask about Dorsett's productivity, which is down during this season compared to his own standards, he said it's not because of what Dorsett is doing. It's because of the tools that we have offensively.
Danny White to throw. Wide open is Dorsett. 45, 50, 40, and out of bounds at the 38.
Often the measure of an offensive weapon, and Dorsett is that, is how many ways he can hurt you. You saw him with the first down running. They come right back, swing him into the open, and obviously someone blew that assignment. Usually have to have a linebacker out there to try and help. None in sight, and Dorsett gets his second consecutive first down, and they're marching quickly down the field.
Yeah, with the injuries to the wide receivers this year, Tony Dorsett with 40 catches. He's been busy as a receiver. Dorsett again, not much. He fights to the 35-yard line. Dorsett starting today with 930 yards, just 70 shy from another 1,000-yard season. He's already number 6 all-time, the 6th man to ever rush for more than 9,000 yards in a career, and he's but 30 years of age. Second and 7. To White for a moment and finish him off at the 37-yard line. Fumble, and it's recovered by New England at the 35-yard line. Dennis Owens from North Carolina State, the nose man, after Kenneth Sims stripped the ball away.
It looked like Danny White was in the grasp and headed toward the ground, but I think there was a Patriot body underneath him, and he did not touch down. The early pressure, White able to take a step forward, get away from a couple of linebackers there, but coming from the backside, they strip it away and then pick up the ball very quickly to put them back in control.
Looked like Andre Tippett was the man who finally ripped it free. Rod Rust, assistant coach of the Patriots, he was involved in the whole controversy, the firing of Ron Meyer, who had let him go the day before.
Well, and certainly the man responsible for great defense being played in New England. They are a fine defensive team. He is their defensive coordinator.
Raymond Berry said the first thing he did was rehire Rod Rust. Stanley Morgan, 5-yard gain, a dangerous pass in the flat. Ron Fellows must have had thoughts of making a move for an intercept. The old-time pass catcher in Patriot history now, Stanley Morgan. And there's the note taker. That's what he'll do. Write himself little notes, the reminders that he can use at halftime, end of the game, and, of course, again tomorrow. First action as the Patriots head coach took me 15 seconds, rehiring Rod Rust. Just a yard. Jeffcoat body slams James.
One of the things that Lou Herber, this offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots, has done is to try and take advantage of that big, strong offensive line. But their play calling offensively, at least in the running game, is more of the sledgehammer variety. They don't use a lot of plays. They try and count on execution, and when you're working against a big defensive line, that may not be enough.
Third down and a long 4. This is where the Cowboys like to put the pressure on, but Eason unable to hit Cedric Jones, number 83, and Dennis Thurman, the veteran from Southern California, there to make the play defensively.
7 defensive backs in on that play, but not coming. Playing the field with the 7 back, with the 7 backs and counting on the 4-man rush. It was Dennis Thurman as he came across, just getting a hand in there to tap that football and keep it away. And there's the defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, Ernie Stotner. What is he? He has that bulldog look of an old defensive tackle. Stays in great shape. That's a good job for the Cowboys.
Camarillo to punt. Allen back at the 17.
Line drive.
Well covered. Rod McSwain, he and his brother Chuck both on special teams. Rod for the Patriots and Chuck for the Dallas Cowboys. A 47-yard punt and no return thanks to the coverage of McSwain. Saturday, yes sir, tee off with golf's greatest foursome. The Skins game returns to NBC Sports and big dollars involved. Cowboys have the ball and the lead, 7-3 with 6.5 minutes. There's Baldinger playing at right tackle. Normally a guard, and pressure on him because Tippett, he likes to rush the passer. And you can see he had thoughts right there. Newsom and Dorsett behind Danny White. It's Dorsett. And the play stacked up at the 15-yard line. Toby Williams, whose brother Jimmy played with the Lions today in a 31-28 victory at home against the Green Bay Packers in on that stop. Toby wearing number 90.
A quick start by these Dallas Cowboys has kept this big crowd, this capacity crowd in their corner. You said it early, Dick. Had they started badly today, I think this crowd could have gotten ugly. They are used to winning here in Dallas.
Julius Adams, 36-year-old veteran, the oldest defensive lineman in the NFL, is in the ball game, number 85. Tom Landry looks at second down and 8. Screen. Oh my, it was almost intercepted, and it's at a loss for the Cowboys as Don Blackman, 55, made the tackle, and there were nothing but red shirts around that pass.
The victim of a good call. They had the blitz on from the outside to get to the screen, and some stunning going on inside that led them right to that little middle screen. Now they're trying to let everyone through and get back into the center. Unfortunately, no chance to do that. Sims, number 77. We said he is playing excellent football. He sees the quarterback going back. His job is to try and make that throw as difficult as possible. He did it right.
3rd and 10, a loss of a couple on the play, and out of the shotgun, White. He's going long. Duriel Harris. The former Miami Dolphin and Cleveland Brown. Harris, his first chance, and after turning a couple of different directions, almost got himself under it. Harris made an interesting comment this week. He said, you know, if I had as bad a character as everyone said I was, I'd have been with the L.A. Raiders a long time ago. He said, I'm not as bad as they're making me out to be.
Well, you talk about character, the character of those 2 left cornerbacks, and we'll see Ernest Gibson in there, and also Ronnie Lippett will be tested today. They have been tested repeatedly over the past weeks and played pretty well last week. You can bet the Cowboys will be checking them out today.
Danny White was under pressure on that first punt and very nearly blocked. Irving Fryer, number 1 pick out of Nebraska, back at the Patriots 45. Good kick. Fryer at the 39. 45, 50. And at the Dallas 47-yard line, the All-American from Nebraska. So trailing 7-3, the Patriots have the ball in Dallas territory. 48-yard punt, a 14-yard return. 4:47 remaining in the first quarter. Dallas leading 7-3. You know, that flex defense tackles get in that 4-point stance. That doesn't look very comfortable. Would you have liked that?
They made me play in a 4-point stance my first year, and I absolutely hated it. I felt like I was a frog down there, and I couldn't get out of that stance. I don't know how Randy White has adjusted to it. He plays very well out of that leapfrog stance, But for my way of thinking, it's got to be awkward for him. You see him here in a three-point. That's not his normal flex stance. He usually has two hands down.
Eason hit from behind by Too Tall Jones. 6 feet 9 inches of Ed Jones. Tough to get it around him and tough to elude him at times.
He's create a problem. You know, he does create a problem for Everson Walls, his own corner. He said, Walls will say, sometimes I look back in to check the quarterback, and the quarterback is completely blocked out by Ed Jones. I can't see him. I can't see what he's doing.
He's knocked down 9 passes this year, so not only can he get the sack, but he's tough to throw around. This is Tony Collins with his first carry of the afternoon. Mike Hegman made the stop. Collins from East Carolina, who had lost his starting position to Craig James.
Dick, we've talked about the dissension and the problems here. Well, early in the year, Collins centered in a controversy up in New England. In fact, he was benched by Coach Ron Meyer. A lot of public complaining and a lot of finger-pointing going on up there. Eventually, that led to a confrontation that got Myers fired. But Collins back in the lineup now. I'm sure he's glad, and all pro to be back out on that field.
We understand Craig James, who has a bad shoulder, has re-injured it. So Collins now the running back. 3rd and 6. Eason got running room. And good foot speed, a first down, just shy of the Dallas 30 for Eason, a Californian. He grew up in Walnut Grove, south of Sacramento, and attended the University of Illinois, where he certainly pleased the Illini fans and was a #1 draft pick of the Patriots a year ago.
I wasn't ready for that speed. Most impressive. There's Steve Grogan on the sideline, and under Ron Meyer, Grogan was sitting on his helmet off in the corner. They've now got him talking to the booth upstairs on the headset. He said he is thrilled to be making a contribution. He kind of coordinates and does a lot of the legwork for Eason out on the field, with the receivers and the coaches upstairs.
Going for it all to Stanley Morgan. And he was open. The pass just a little too far to the sidelines, and Morgan trying to stay in bounds and still pick it off one-handed.
Great receivers. You see Tony Eason there saying, that's all right, we'll come back and get him. But great receivers know where that sideline is. And you saw Morgan with a feel for that sideline, trying to get up and control that football while keeping his feet in a place where he could come back down in bounds. The one thing that Lou Erber, the offensive coordinator, mentioned to me yesterday is they're thrilled to have other wide receivers that can free up a Stanley Morgan from all the double coverage he's seen over the last few years.
Clarence Weathers, one of those, is in now to the right for Morgan. Tony Collins. Oh, what a play by Michael Downs. Did he come firing up from the secondary, number 26, to make the tackle after a short gain.
The Dallas defensive safeties have always been very big in playing the running game. You go back to Cliffy Harris and back to Charlie Waters, all of those safeties that the Cowboys have had here, Cornell Green, they've always been tough against the run. One of the things the Patriots would like to do today is to keep 3 and 4 wide receivers on the field as much as possible to keep those safeties out of the running game.
3 minutes and 10 seconds left in the first quarter. 7-3 Dallas. Whistle sounds. They may have used up more than the 30 seconds. That'll be delay of game against New England.
Eason lost a shoe on that play. Take him a minute to get it back on. You wonder why they didn't stop. I don't think the players could hear that whistle down on the field.
Offense, still 3rd down.
Eason, of course, this a day for family, Thanksgiving Day, and he has a brother rooting for him in the NFL. There's the earlier score, the Lions beating Green Bay, coming from 14-0 down to win that one. That Bo Eason, Tony's younger brother, top draft pick, a defensive back with the Houston Oilers. In fact, he used to come a year or so ago and work out at New England. That's how the Weathers boys got together, and New England found Clarence Weathers, who was a total unknown, and now in the same lineup with Tony Eason as a wide receiver.
Audible call by Eason. Now they switch the defense on him.
Yeah, there would have been a penalty against the Patriots. As there was movement in the line, it mattered not as Dallas, and that's what we talked about, the Cowboys so aggressive, coming with about 8 men again.
You notice how they let Tony Eason make the audible call, and then after he'd made the audible, quickly shifted the defense, brought everybody
Illegal
up.
motion, number 88, offense, decline, 4th down.
So the punting team will come on, a sack for the Cowboys, their second of this first quarter.
A little bit of a sucker punch by the Cowboy defense, getting Easton to call an audible thinking he had one defense, and then quickly shifting to another and bringing everyone right up the gut. Here you see the play. Look how they stack the middle. That's what Bob Greasy talked about. You've got no one to block that second safety. Downs is right there. Tony Collins trying to come up. He just couldn't get there in time.
Well, if you got Downs, then Bates would have been free.
That's just the numbers got you there.
Camarillo's third punt. It's as if it's going to go in the end zone, and does. So Dallas will take over at the 20-yard line. They stop the New England drive.
Now the end zone will be returned to the 20-yard line.
2 minutes, 48 seconds remaining in the opening period, and Tom Landry's Cowboys lead it 7-3. Let's examine that staggered defensive alignment of the Cowboys, the so-called flex defense, Merlin.
Over on the left side, Too Tall Jones and Dutton. Watch them as we turn the place loose. You'll see them shifting. They wait until the offense is set. Now Dutton will shift back and Too Tall will shift forward. They're now all up on the line of scrimmage in that situation. It's no longer a flex defense. The result, great pressure right there on Easton, the quarterback.
Danny White on first down from his 20. He gets 5 yards on the quick hitter to Tony Dorsett. Larry McGrew made the tackle.
Dorsett at the 25-yard line.
The defense of the Cowboys.
Questions being asked by Anthony Dickerson, number 51. Very often when you come off the field, if there's something bothering you, very important to get together and ask the question. And there's Ernest Lockhart, or Eugene Lockhart, on the other side. Let's get this offense together and get moving.
Ray Berry tutoring his offense. 2nd and 5. Doug Donnelly has a first down at the 32-yard line. Ernest Gibson, a rookie from Furman, made the tackle. 7 yards for Donnelly.
Donnelly started this season by asking Landry if he could wear gloves. Landry said yes, if you'll wear them all year long. Well, the gloves have disappeared. Donnelly disappeared for a while, too, with hamstring problems. They're happy to have his speed back in the lineup. He can put some pressure on the defense.
First down at the Dallas 32 for Danny White. Dorsett. Oh, yeah! Wonderful move by Dorsett. It didn't get much yardage, but it shows you how dangerous he is. Always appearing to go one way and having that ability to cut, make that sharp move in another.
Well, it's one thing to be able to see the holes develop. It's another to get to them. Look how sharp that cut is by Dorsett behind the block of Peterson. But an excellent defensive play right there. That's Kenny Sims on top. I believe it's nose tackle Owens coming from the inside. Just a sandwich job on Dorsett. He picked up almost 2 yards, a little over 2nd and 8.
He's with the cream now of the all-time rushers in the NFL, Dorsett. White down the middle. Cosby was the closest white jersey. Fred Marion covering for New England.
I've got to believe, Dick, that when you're out there with a sore shoulder and you know if you get knocked down on that shoulder, it might hurt you. Could be a real problem.
Bob Greasy?
Down the middle, the safeties will split and the whole area will be open. It's just an overthrow by White. Play could have been made. That's the thing Landry was saying during the week, Merlin, that somebody's got to make some plays.
Looked like Cosby didn't look back in time, Bob.
Paul Kaufman of Green Bay caught a touchdown pass on a similar play in the earlier game, won by Detroit eventually 31-28. Here come the Patriots on the pressure, and wide open is Tony Hill. Out of bounds at the 16-yard line. James saving a touchdown, 51 yards for Hill.
come straight down and break to the outside. The key to this is this man right here will occupy the corner and not let him get deep. One-on-one coverage. Hill can beat this all day. You see the wide receiver coming in, and the corner has to chase him, leaving the whole outside open for Hill. He was right on the money on that one.
First down for the Cowboys, leading 7-3, just over a minute remaining in the first quarter. Sliding down that line of scrimmage till he could find a little daylight, picks up a couple or three before Blackman and McGrew can collaborate on the tackle.
Don Blackman doing a great job out there of holding his position on the outside. Dorsett wanted to get him to bite inside so he could get out there. Blackman refused to do it. Gave his interior people, and in particular McGrew, a chance to get out and close up the hole to the inside.
Now, thus far, that 5 offensive guard line of the Cowboys doing a good job protecting White.
Peterson, by the way, back in that lineup. Apparently his injury not serious early on, and they are doing a good job there.
2nd and 8. Dorsett. Hit hard, just shy of the 10-yard line. Dennis Owens, number 98. Larry McGrew, number 50.
I talked to Brian Baldinger about his responsibilities, and an interesting young man. He said, I really got 2 different kinds of people to play with. He said, Sims is a power player. He said, I've got to be ready to go hard with him, take him short, tip it, the quickness. I've got to be able to bounce back and give myself some room with him.
They'll change ends. The final second has ticked away in the first quarter. The Dallas Cowboys, on a pass interception touchdown by Michael Downs, have the lead. Ready for the second quarter. Many of the Patriots, seeing the stadium in a magnificent structure it is, were quite awed by its presence yesterday. But they're going to put a hole in the donut. The donut hole top is going to be covered. They're going to give an umbrella. Well, we'll give you that information after we run down the statistics first quarter.
Much as you would expect, the passing yardage, the real difference here by the Cowboys, and much of it on that long reception down the sideline to Hill. Of course, score much in favor of the Cowboys, too.
Third down and 5 at the 11-yard line. Cowboys trying to add to their 7-3 lead. Zone and almost intercepted by Fred Marion. Cosby hadn't looked for the ball. Marion said, what's wrong with me? That almost was too easy.
Let's go back and watch Cosby as he tries to get open from his flanker position there with 2 tight ends in the game. Covered initially on the inside by Roland James and then on the outside by Fred Marion. And Marion, I think, was watching Cosby. He didn't think that ball was coming because Cosby didn't have his head around.
Raphael Septien will try to settle for a 28-yard field goal. He's deadly inside the 40, as you can see. And the Cowboys have a 7-point lead. Good from 28 yards. Just seconds gone, second quarter. Dallas 10, New England 3. Now, the future plans will have a large umbrella that will cover the opening that is really basically the size of the football field itself, which will add to the comfort of the players maybe more than the fans, because it still will be open. There won't be any air conditioning. It won't be completely enclosed. There'll be several openings where the natural climate will offer its presence, but if it does rain, it won't rain on the field. Septien to the short man, Greg Hawthorne, the ex-Steeler, who played his college ball here at Baylor, and he's out to the 25-yard line. Bill Bates made the tackle for Dallas. 14-yard return, and Tony Eason, trailing 10-3, brings his offense on.
People might be saying, what difference does it make to cover the field? Well, as a player, when I came here and I saw that when it rained and I was out on the field, I got wet and none of the fans got wet, that made me mad. It really irritated me. I said, hey, if we're going to be covered, let's cover the players as well as the fans.
Yeah, but you didn't pay to get in.
You're right about that.
Greg James is okay. He's back in the lineup for New England as the lone setback behind Eason. Eason in trouble. Randy White got him after Dickerson forced him to turn around.
Very difficult to control this Dallas defense if they can get you on the blitz. On the sideline, a man who would love to be on the field today, Bob Brunig on the left there. That's Gene Stallings, linebacker coach on the right. And he is a part of a natural progression. Tubbs to Jordan to Brunig, and then maybe to Lockhart.
Once you get that middle linebacking job, you usually keep it for a long time. Second and long for Eason. Just does get it away. Incomplete to Lynn Dawson. Ed Jones was there just about to sack Eason at the 7-yard line.
Well, these fans felt that Jones maybe had him in the grasp. The official right on top of it said it was a fair throw. Eason saving the sack and saving the yardage. You'll see Jones coming from the left side of your picture. He's getting around the tackle on this side. That's Darrell Haley. Well, that's an awfully close call, Dick, but they gave the benefit to the quarterback in that situation. 7 defensive backs.
3rd and 17. Four-man rush. Lynn Dawson, the tight end, and Bill Bates, a little guy from Tennessee. What an open field tackler he is. Free agent pick a year ago, and the fans love him. He represents that free agent spirit that has been so very much alive in Cowboy history.
He is a hitter, too. That play that looked like it was going to be up for big yardage, only gained 12 and not enough for the first down. And we'll see Camarillo. Camarillo said earlier that he's healed from that knee injury, even though he's wearing a brace on his left leg. But he said the one place that bothers him is in his control. Has plenty of power, but has lost some control of the football.
Gary Allen back at the 29 in Dallas territory. Camarillo toward the near sidelines and out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. Paul Dombrowski, who loves to get down there first, was the man ready to make the hit. And a timeout after the 45-yard kick with 13:21 left in the first half. Dallas with the ball and the lead. 2nd down and 7 for Danny White. Down to 5 seconds on the 30-second clock. And it finally winds up with Dorsett. It breaks the tackle. Gets to the 29-yard line. Larry McGrew, former Southern California Trojan, making the tackle. McGrew, they're rooting for USC against Ohio State, a rematch of what has been a Rose Bowl rivalry come January 1st. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
WAVE TV3 Louisville.
And a happy Thanksgiving from Irving, Texas to Kenford with Merlin Olsen and Bob Greasy. 3rd down and 6 for the Cowboys.
Watch this little up and down move by the Cowboys, Dick. Just as they set them, they come bouncing back up and drop down. We'll talk about that in a second.
Donnelly in motion. Oh, they just did get the play off before the 30 seconds. And White does get it to Newsom, but I believe he's going to be short of the first down. Ronnie Lippett, former Miami of Florida cornerback, made the hit just shy of the first down.
Right, throwing that football into a lot of red shirts as well as Donnelly under great pressure here. Look how many red shirts pop up on the scene right here. 3 of them right there that had a chance to get a hand on that football. They do a good job. Lippett, the man that got there first, held him down. Danny gets to stay in the ball game doing his punting chores.
Irving Fryer, the Patriots are waiting for him to really turn one back. They say it's only a matter of time. He's going to have a spectacular touchdown with a kick. Very high toward the sidelines, and Fryer fair catches at the 22-yard line. Timeout. Less than 11 minutes remaining in this first half. Irving, Texas, the scene, and the Cowboys lead 10-3. One of the truly great players, John Hanna from Alabama, 4 times voted the Offensive Lineman of the Year by the National Football League Players Association, 7-time Pro Bowler, and he's facing his match today in Randy White, the All-Pro defensive tackle of the Cowboys. 10-3 Dallas. The quickie And Cedric Jones has short yardage at the 30-yard line. Everson Walls on the coverage, 7 yards.
John Hanna's wearing a special neck brace out there today. If you tuned in a couple of weeks ago to see Hanna, it looked like he had an apartment house around his neck, but they put a smaller brace on him now. And what it does, it lifts up the pads in the back to keep his neck from being pushed back. Now, the one thing that does is forces him to kind of lower his butt in the stance so he can see the defensive players. He's got almost a 1920s stance out there.
James to the 33-yard line. Dickerson making the play. You saw something inside there.
Well, just watching Hanna on White. And Hanna doing a good job of pushing Randy White. That is just brute strength on brute strength with those two out there.
Timeout for a measurement.
A couple of bull rhinos in mating season.
Yeah, they really are. Good old-time football. They rock 'em, sock 'em, both of those guys.
Hanna, as he watches the measurement, it will be a New England first down. And as you look at Hanna again, one of his thighs is 34 inches. One.
And here is that last play that we talked about. You see Hanna getting right into White. Look how he turns White, won't give him a chance to get back, and ended up dumping him on the ground. Now, you don't see Randy White on the ground many times.
First down, New England at the Patriot 33-yard line. Exactly 10 minutes left in the first half. Under pressure. And Dickerson sacks Eason. That's the 4th Dallas sack.
Only Eason will get the pass away, thrown down the broad house by number 51, Anthony Dickerson.
That's Kurt Peterson. We saw him earlier. He left the field, then came back into play. He has a twisted left ankle, and he will supposedly be coming back on the field. They're going to check him in the locker room, but we mentioned how damaged that offensive line is already, and although Peterson has gone back into the game, he's in the locker room now and won't be able to do that if they get the ball back here shortly.
Second and long for Eason. Good protection. Got a man open, but Stanley Morgan can't pull it in at the 43-yard line. Eason just did get that one off.
Looked like a ball that could have been caught by Morgan. Eason, with a very smooth and quick delivery, has the ability apparently to read the field very well, and I think that's one of the real separators for young quarterbacks. One of the advantages they have today is that college football has really become aware of the passing game. Used to be a young man came up, he didn't have the tools to play professional football as a quarterback.
And they've got Eason again, the Dallas defense. Bill Bates.
Cowboys came into this contest with 35 sacks on the season. They already have 5 here in the first half. Chance to watch them in action. Randy White, number 54, going to this side. Eason stepping up, and Bates, who had delayed in the secondary, just came up and closed the gap on him. No one open downfield, and very often when you see a late sack like that, you give the credit to the defensive secondary.
Eason had a lot of running room had Bates not brought him to the carpet. Camarillo to punt to Allen, back at the 34. Almost dismembered as he takes that one, and a flag is down. Tim Golden, 59, and Rod McSwain, 23, pinching Allen down.
We had a New England Patriot leave the line too quickly, and I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas won't opt to have them kick again, because that was a very good punt.
It's a choice of having it at the 32 or giving Camarillo another shot, and that'll be the case.
Ineligible downfield on the punt, number 59, offense, still 4th down.
And 59, Golden was a man in on the tackle.
Maybe that's appropriate. Maybe that's how he got down there so fast, Dick.
In case you joined us late, Michael Downs, with just 2 minutes gone in the game, intercepted an Eason pass and went 27 yards for a touchdown, the only touchdown of the game. Tony Franklin and Raphael Septien have traded short field goals since, and it's 10-3.
Stotner has to be pretty pleased with his defensive line and his defense. limiting the Patriots to just 3 points here so far in this first half.
Good kick. But Allen has better blocking, 40, 45, and he's out of bounds at the Dallas 49. So they improved about 17 yards on the exchange of kicks after that 5-yard penalty.
Well, if you're going to make yardage on a punt return, you've got to get people blocked. Paul Dombrowski, 47, draws a crowd. Vic Scott right there, and Everson Walls two-timing him and making it awful tough for him, but he won't quit. He's still coming downfield.
Perseverance is a virtue and a necessity on the special teams. 8:38 left in the half. 50 years ago, the first radio broadcast by the immortal Graham McNamee. He also did the first Rose Bowl game in 1927. He really pioneered radio sportscasting. McNamee, a Hall of Famer, and one who taught us how to do what we're doing today. That must have been some job the first time they said, well, you see, we got this device, a radio. You talk into this, and people will listen at home, and you just tell them what you see.
Oh, really?
Graham McNamee. First down, Dallas at the 50-yard line. Luther Henson and Rick Sanford at nose tackle and safety, 2 new faces in the New England setup. White going for it all. Intercepted by Ray Claiborne. 10. 15, and the former Texas All-American gets it back to the 30-yard line. Claiborne's 3rd interception of the year. It was intended for Tony Hill.
White just without enough strength to get it over Claiborne's head. Claiborne, an excellent athlete, went through a slump a little earlier in the season. Now back to playing full bore, and they put him on the #1 receiver. He's on Tony Hill here, and it's his ball all the way. Good defensive backs feel that that ball belongs to them. Exactly what Claiborne did on that play. Went up and took it away. Got a good return in the process.
Now Claiborne, I don't often throw in his direction because he is such a superb defender. Trailing 10-3, New England gives it to James, and he has 6 yards to the 36 before Hegman can trip him up.
Every time you look at Claiborne out there, it causes you to think about the possibility of having Mike Haynes in that same secondary. Of course, New England lost him because of a contract dispute.
Ron Wooten from North Carolina, the right guard down.
Number 51, Brian Ingram, is the Patriot being checked at this time.
Big Thanksgiving sports weekend on NBC, and we want to remind you of the fair ahead. Kinchin and Ramos, an outstanding bout on Saturday in Sports World. The Budweiser Classic, our professional bowling association tour, continues, and the Skins game, I know many of you enjoyed that last year, as they can play well. They made $100,000 on a single stroke last year, and the game's very best players involved in the second edition of the Skins game. That's on Saturday, and of course on Sunday, plenty of outstanding National Football League action, and one of those games will feature that match finally of the 2 young Lions in the West, Seattle and Denver. Denver at 11-1 and Seattle at 10-2 at Mile High Stadium. You'll be able to watch that and other outstanding NFL action this weekend.
With that injury to Wooten, we may see Brock back in the ballgame. They were hoping they wouldn't have to play him with his injured knee today. Guy Morris, who would ordinarily slide to one of those guard slots, has of course been playing at center. We'll have to see what they opt to do here, as Wooten is still on the ground. I believe they're going to bring Brock in. If Wooten can continue, he'll probably only go in for a couple of plays. He's a tough character, I'll tell you. I think Wooten's okay. Well, looks like they're going to bring Fairchild from the sideline. 66, Fairchild. And you saw Brock saying, hey, I can do it, but they've opted to take the rookie instead. He'll go in and start at that guard slot.
You saw Raymond Berry in just a moment, the comment that he made yesterday. I said, of all the coaches you played for and as an assistant, which one had the greatest influence? Finish that after this play. 2nd and 4 for New England. And it's James again, right up the middle, and he's just shy of the first down at the 39. Ed Jones made the tackle. And Ray Berry, now in his first head coaching position after assistant work at the University of Arkansas. He was an assistant here at Dallas, New England, Detroit, Cleveland. He said, my father who is a high school coach in nearby Paris, Texas. In fact, his 80-year-old father, also Mark Raymond, is here today. He said he had the greatest influence, and he taught me 3 things. He said, you can always win, and you have the potential to beat anyone. You must have the best and the worst players live to their potential. And third, you have to have balance. You have to be able to run, and you have to be able to pass. And New England can't run it on short yardage. That's twice that Dallas has stopped the Patriots short yardage.
Well, this first half has belonged to the defenses on both sides. The only touchdown of this first half, a defensive touchdown. And you see Ernie Stockner saying to his troops, that's exactly what we had in mind. He'll exhort them when they come off the field. And that brings this crowd back to life again. Good, aggressive penetration by the Cowboy defensive line. There's nowhere to go. Lockhart coming over the top. Good play by the linebackers as well, as they just stuffed it. Mike Hegman also in on that play.
Less than 7 minutes left in this first half. And on 4th and 1, Camarillo will punt again. He's been busy. Short kick toward the sidelines. Allen at the 21, 30, and down at the 30-yard line. Guy Morris, one of those down on the coverage. A 40-yard punt, a 10-yard return, and we have a timeout. 6 minutes, 43 seconds left. First half, Dallas, the only touchdown by the defense, leads by 6. And you showed me when you whistle how all the turkey, you had them all gobbling.
We'd had some fun up there. We said, when NBC talks, and then we whistled, and all these turkeys put up their heads, and did they listen to us? We had fun.
A couple of turkeys.
Good memories. A couple of turkeys here today, but
good to be sharing the holiday with those of you around the country, and I hope it's a pleasant day for you and yours. Oops. Dorsett running into White, and then nothing but red jerseys. Blackman and Nelson, 2 of those. Their first, a 2-yard deficit for Dorsett. Well, you don't expect that between the veteran quarterback and his top runner.
Certainly don't. And of course, Danny White, having spent some time being injured, and that looks like that probably is his mistake. Dorsett, the kind of a player that doesn't make many mistakes on the field, and as a running back has that route all tacked out. Looked like White was the mistake maker there.
Newsom moves up on a wing. That leaves Dorsett, the lone running back, behind White. Intercepted and dropped. Almost picked off. Roland James, number 38. And White, who has a bad shoulder, gets up in some pain after taking a hit.
Of course, one of the dangers out there is that even if you get the football off, you're likely to take a shot. We mentioned it's White's left shoulder, and he was hurt being knocked down after a punt last week. They're pulling on that shoulder there, and he ends up going right down on that left shoulder. Now, that's the kind of an injury that won't take many hits like that.
He escapes the possible interception, however. 3rd down and a dozen at the Dallas 29. Way off the mark that time, as well covered was Cosby. Had he thrown it to the man Cosby, there were 3 Patriots salivating.
Here, we've heard many cheers here so far for the Cowboys, and after that last pass, a little bit of a semblance of boos here from these Dallas fans. We mentioned the raw feelings this week after Landry and his troops were embarrassed by that loss against winless Buffalo. This whole town, I think, kind of felt the outrage of that. And we said early, Dick, that if they got off to a poor start today, they would take it out on the Cowboys. That has not happened, but you felt it here just then.
White. Pryor comes up to get it on the run, and he's out of bounds at the 34.5-yard line. You know, Landry has to be concerned, and obviously is, by the fact that this is the lowest scoring Dallas team since 1962. That's the 2nd year of the franchise. They just are not able to get the points on the board. And again today, but for Downs' interception touchdown, it would be a 3-all tie.
They have always been able to score points, even in years when their defense was not playing well. And certainly you only have to look back to last year to see that. They could put enough points on the board. In fact, last year, the 3rd all-time NFL total for points.
Ron Wooten is back in there. Eason throwing for the tight end, Lynn Dawson, and Dawson right into a crowd. Dexter Clinksdale was there for Dallas.
For number 87, Lynn Dawson, incomplete. Second down, 10.
Landry talking to Danny White on the sideline.
18 consecutive winning seasons for Landry, 7-5 this year, and underlining the point again and the importance of this game. Neither team can really afford a loss if they want to get into the playoffs. Embarrassing indeed, all the way back almost 20 years since the loss was quite that humbling. Eason, incomplete, knocked away from Stephen Starring by Everson Walls. Cowboys arguing that Eason crossed the scrimmage line, but the official that marked it said nope, he got it away before.
He got close to the line, but he did throw it behind the line. And he did something else. Coming to the line like that, you've got to take a lot off the ball. Watch him as he comes back to the line. There's still a lot of zip on this football, but he kind of pulls it back slightly. Walls right behind Starring. I think if Starring could have gotten his body between himself and Walls, they'd been able to protect that ball, but it was slightly behind him.
Not very good numbers, 6 for 15 and only 60 yards for Eason. And he throws that one on one hop almost to the Dallas defender. Derek Ramsey was the intended target. Victor Scott there for Dallas. And Tony Eason has really been taken into the classroom by this Dallas defense.
Certainly has, Dick, and this is not his fault, though. These linebackers are going to blitz up the middle. The man that needs to break it off doesn't do it. He keeps going downfield. He needs to come in here. Eason throws the ball there, but the receiver doesn't see it. He doesn't see the blitz. Eason reads it. He can't block everybody. He throws the slant. The receiver doesn't break it off.
Receivers have to see that blitz, have to change the angles, and get open quicker.
Well, Camarillo in punt formation again with 5:27 left in the half, and he really hits this one. Allen back to his 12, 20, and to the 27, maybe the 28-yard line before Tim Golden can make the tackle for New England. 53-yard punt for Camarillo, and about a 10-yard return. Talked about Sunday here on NBC, and here are the games. Kansas City will be playing the New York Giants, and of course Dallas fans will be rooting for those next two games, probably for AFC teams. Buffalo at Washington, the Giants in Washington in that dogfight with Dallas for the NFC East. Houston will be at Cleveland, and San Diego, after that overtime win against Miami, will play Pittsburgh. And the late game will feature Seattle at Denver. Leading 10-3. Plenty of time in this first half for White. Dumps it out to Newsom. Blackman forces the fumble, but it goes out of bounds. Or does it? Was it out of bounds? Yes. Nelson did not have control before the ball was out of bounds.
Ball laid on the sideline, and if the New England Patriots had been able to control it before it went out of bounds, it would have been their ball. White can't get it downfield. Takes the outlet receiver on the outside. Now watch the hit. Good hit by Blackman right there, and he just stripped the ball loose. A chance for Nelson. Could he get that ball and stay in bounds? His momentum just carried Nelson to hand the ball out before he could contain it.
A gain of a little over 2 yards on the play. Second down. Blackman was offside for New England. Donnelly. First down at the 29, the 28 of New England. 42 yards. White to Donnelly.
We mentioned the left corners for the New England Patriots. They had a better game last week, but they were chewed on earlier in the season. And they're after Ernest Gibson on the right side, number 43. Donnelly, using his speed upfield, makes a good reception. Just had position on the young rookie corner right there. And even though Gibson stripped it away, man was on the ground.
So 51-yard pass set up the field goal earlier in this quarter, and now 42 yards to Donnelly. And the Cowboys are at the New England 28-yard line. 10-3 the score. 4:56 left in the half. Newsom. Nothing there. At Smith was the first down for Dallas in this entire second quarter. We told you the early games on Sunday here on NBC, along with Seattle at Denver at 3:30 Eastern Time. The Colts will be in Los Angeles against the Raiders. So we hope you'll be with us Saturday and Sunday for another busy sports weekend. There are the two late games. We'll have a chance to sit back and watch them as fans ourselves, Merlin.
Hawks against the Bronx, and both of those teams playing such outstanding defensive football.
2nd and 10. Time running out, second quarter. And White nailed by Andre Tippett, his 13th sack of the year for Tippett, and he stole the ball as well, but White was down.
We mentioned the left side of that defense. Andre Tippett, Kenny Sims over there. Tippett loves to come in on the blitz. He just blows right by Baldinger. That's in a strange position for Baldinger. You've got to remember a converted guard out there trying to handle new assignments and trying to handle one of the toughest blitzing linebackers in the NFL.
Boy, that was smooth. The way he just rolled White over, and the next thing you knew, Tippett had the ball in his mitts.
Ooh, magic.
6'3" and 241, and he's the Lawrence Taylor of this New England team. Third down and close to 20. Out of the shotgun. Almost intercepted by Ronnie Lippett, who turned just in time. The fans thought there was some bumping on Tony Hill.
Hill being sandwiched by Rick Sanford, number 25, and Ronnie Lippett, number 42. A solo shot here. They've moved Lippett in after Gibson got himself beaten on that last play. Lippett comes right in on the side. Well, he may have touched him. It's hard to tell from this angle, but he waited to really move in until that ball arrived and then knocked it away.
So the defenses continue to dominate, and Danny White on 4th and 20 will punt for the 5th time in this opening half.
Good punt.
Does it go in the end zone? Finally, New England brings it out to the 6-yard line. The Cowboys, what a great job of batting it back out. We'll see whether or not the ball finally rolled.
I think the man who batted it out, Dick, had gone out of bounds. And I don't think he's allowed to come back in and make the play.
That's right. It's McSwain, Chuck McSwain, who still is in the end zone.
Watch the play at the end, and McSwain had gone really out of bounds. He comes back in. He does a good job of leaping back and knocking that ball back into the field of play.
Well, it's on. Well, it hit the goal line anyway, so it would have been on the 20-yard line once the ball touched the goal line.
What are they doing now, Dick? Looks like they're going all the way back, maybe to kick it again.
New England would have gotten it at the 20-yard line. It's hard to believe they're going to come out much better than that.
Let's see what they decide to do here. Now, I believe they're saying that. I think that's exactly what Steve Nelson was saying. If you're going to give us a choice, we'll take it on the 20 and give us a chance with 3:24 on the clock to get ourselves downfield, get a touchdown here.
McSwain is okay. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Dallas Cowboys and National Football League is prohibited.
By an ineligible offensive man, made ineligible because he went out of bounds and was the first to touch the ball after he came in. 35, offense. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
You saw that aborted play. This is a play from last week. This is Dombrowski doing exactly what McSwain tried to do on that play. Camarillo getting the ball off, getting a good kick. Watch number 47, Dombrowski, getting down underneath the punt. Look at that. Now he just lays the ball back on the 1-yard line. If he touches into the end zone with that ball in his hands, he, of course, touches the ball back. Well, that's what the Cowboys tried to do.
Well, they take the penalty, and White to kick again. Oh, and a bad kick off the side of his foot. But as it turns out, New England will get it at the 16. That surprised me all along.
I don't think they had a choice on the penalty. I think they had to take the penalty.
In that case, the Cowboys come out a plus 4 yards because instead of the ball at the 20, it's at the 16-yard line.
And the Rules Committee will hear about that.
We're pleased that you're with us on this holiday, Irving, Texas, and a most happy and healthy Thanksgiving to all of you. For the Dallas Cowboys, who have had their problems with health, especially in the offensive line, it's been their defense that has shackled New England, but with 3:17 left in the half, the Patriots have a chance to tie. 10-3 Dallas. Mosi Tutupu. And the powerfully built Samoan plows his way to the 24-yard line. Dutton made the tackle.
One of the things that has to strike fear in your heart if you're a linebacker or in the defensive secondary, the sight of John Hanna pulling from his guard position, rumbling downfield. Number 73 coming. They've got the offside tackle, Holloway, pulling on that one too. Interesting block by Hanna. Hanna could see that he wasn't going to be able to get Ed Jones out, just kind of rolled by him and blocked his vision.
Clock running 2:40, remaining in the half. 2nd and 2. And Stephen Starring unable to get out of bounds, but it is a first down at the 35.
Number 81, Stephen Starring.
We have featured that line battle between Randy White and Big John Hanna. They're still going at it down there. That's a classic. If you want to watch there, watch White try to use his hands to get past Hanna. Doing a good job of getting penetration, but Big John keeping himself between Randy White and the quarterback.
11 yards on that last play. Another quickie. And Starring,
great feat.
out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Another 11-yard gain. So back-to-back to one of my votes for the all-name team in the NFL, Stephen Starring.
About the fastest. That looked like the alley shuffle over there on the sideline. Got the defensive back to commit himself inside and then just waltzed it down and out of bounds.
2-minute timeout given. 1:58 left in the half. New England on a march to try to tie it before the intermission. NFL 84 at halftime. Messrs. Costas, Rashad, Axelm, and McAtee. Bill with us here in Irving, Texas. Lions coming from behind. 14-0 against Green Bay and shattered the Packers' slim hopes of the playoffs with a 31-28 win earlier today in Pontiac. And here it's the Dallas Cowboys with a 7-5 record, but they are in the back seat in terms of all the tiebreakers, even though Washington and the Giants also at 7-5. And the Patriots at 8-4, and it's the Los Angeles Raiders, the defending champions. They're in battle with for a playoff spot. First down, 1:58 left. Eason, good protection. Oh, good coverage by Michael Downs. There wasn't a chance for Irving Fryer.
Greg Hawthorne actually became a defensive back on that play as Downs had position all the way. Dick, one of the things the Cowboys have done extremely well so far in this game is to play the Patriot running game. It's a hammering running game, and they've done well with it coming in. The Cowboys, 27th in the league against the rush, a 4.5 average per rush coming in. It's only been 3.5 today. That's been an important factor.
Only 53 yards rushing for New England's offense. Here comes Tutupu trying to improve on that number, and he's in Dallas territory at the 47-yard line, but that's not close to a first down. Ed Jones finally wrapped him up. Clock is running, 1:40 left in the half. 3rd and 5, a short 5. Eason going for it all, but he misses everyone by 10 yards. Cedric Jones, the receiver. So it has not been a good half for young Tony Eason.
Bob Greasy set it up early. He said Eason is going to have just a few seconds on every down to try and read that defense. And you know that the real disadvantage, and I think it's good to point it out, this has been a short week. All of this information about the Cowboys, he's never played against this Cowboy defense. All that information has been loaded on him in just a couple of quick days. And that would be a load for a veteran quarterback, let alone a youngster who's just getting his feet wet.
Good point. It's They just got home late on Sunday night from Indianapolis. You got Monday, Tuesday, and then they traveled here to Dallas yesterday, Wednesday. So just a couple of days to think about all the things the Cowboys do defensively. Camarillo's punt toward Gary Allen. Fair catch at the 8-yard line. Now the Cowboys have 1:19 left to try to get something on the board to add to that 10-3 lead they already own.
From that point, first down.
A chance to reflect on other days of football on Thanksgiving. How about the Cowboys' 24-23 win 10 years ago? Remember the man who came off the bench for the dazed Roger Staubach? The Rattler, Clint Longley, threw that touchdown pass with 35 seconds left to give the Cowboys a 24-23 win over Washington.
He may be better remembered here in Dallas for that fist fight he had with Staubach a little later on.
And Roger stayed, and Mr. Longley exited. Danny White, deep in his own end, 1:19 left. Newsom to the 21. First down, and he stops the clock with 1:13 left. Rick Sanford made the defensive play.
Patriots expecting a passing play, not ready for their quick run, and it gets good yardage. Dorsett, the blocker here. Look at him coming outside. Raymond Claiborne trying to spin back into the play, trying to use his body to tackle Newsom. Did not get it. Newsom so far kind of validating Landry's switch of players. He has played well so far this half.
Dorsett this time. It was right into Don Blackman. Andre Tippett. No, it was Tippett who made the play.
Blackman there to congratulate Tippett. What a big play that was. Busting outside. Nowhere to go. Watch number 56, Tippett. Baldinger trying to control him. He's just out there, and Tony Dorsett knows that that's the wrong place to be.
50 seconds remaining. White throwing to this side. And incomplete, looking for Tony Hill. That stops the clock. 46 seconds left.
Dick, can you remember when the Cowboys were the first to come with all of the interesting formations and the up and down move, and everyone believed, and I think it was true, that they were the most sophisticated, the most complex offense in all of football? I asked Rod Rust, I said, where do they rank today? He said, really, they're in the middle. He said, they're in the middle in terms of complexity. He said, certainly not a simple offense to deal with, but not nearly of the degree of complexity that they once had within the hierarchy of the NFL.
I wonder who they'd consider the most complex in the NFL.
Washington, I think, maybe, the most complex offense.
Little handoff to Dorsett, but Blackman and company looking for James Jones, actually in for Dorsett. Let's see if New England stops the clock. 39-38. They haven't stopped it yet.
Yeah, there it is. There's the signal. The other offense that I would throw into that hat would be the San Diego Chargers with all of their motion and all of the fanfare that they can put into a ball game.
We hope you'll stay with us at halftime. You think of these football players in a game of violence as being a certain character, and we're going to show you the very human side of a couple of outstanding athletes. Bob Brunig of the Dallas Cowboys, Steve Nelson, New England Patriots, two linebackers who make their living knocking people off their feet, especially when they have that pumpkin tucked away, and you'll see a rather poignant example of how they contribute to our society at halftime, most appropriate on this Thanksgiving Day.
Well, we have a second. It might be appropriate for us to pass along Thanksgiving wishes to our families. I know your family, like mine, spread out across the country, and I think they probably miss us. We sure miss being with them today, and we'll catch up with them and hope to have them save us a little bit of turkey anyway.
Well, Fridays become Thanksgivings for some of us, and of course all of our crew working here, the men and women with NBC, to bring you this telecast. 36 seconds left. Fryer, ever dangerous, at the New England 45. And 10 men on the line of scrimmage for the Patriots. This is White's sixth punt. Ooh, almost blocked, and he might have gotten a piece of it. Yes, he did. And Fryer comes all the way up to the 40-yard line. Caught at the 45, dropped at the 40, and that's about as good a field position as the Patriots have had. It was Bo Robinson who pressured Danny White, and I believe got a piece of that punt.
The official showing the mark with his hand, saying he got a piece of it so he can touch White legally. And this is how White got dumped and hurt last week. Robinson not trying to injure White, but look at him go right down here.
Bo Robinson right here is going to get blocked a little bit and then in on the quarterback.
Coming from the same spot where they came earlier to almost block an earlier punt by White.
So trailing 10-3, Eason has a first down at the Dallas 40. Can't find a man open, and Randy White brings him down. Timeout with 23 seconds left. A field day for the Dallas Sack Pack.
That's the 6th of the day, and we've given you a little insight into that great battle on the line between those two All-Pros, Randy White and Hog Hanner. On that particular play, White won the battle, although let's put it in perspective. Quarterback took an awful lot of time. You can't hold him out all day. I remember that.
So Eason searching for an open man, could not find one, and after 5 or 6 seconds, Bob Greasy, you know you're in trouble if you can't locate somebody that's open when you have that kind of protection.
You're right, Dick. He had some people open downfield. I think what he's trying to do is throw the ball too far downfield. He came into this ball game thinking he was going to have to throw quickly with all the pressure that the Cowboys, so he thought maybe he's going to have to do something a little bit differently. The Cowboys have mixed it up very well, and I think right now he's a confused young man.
Bob, you've been watching carefully their defense. Have they blitzed as high a percentage today as they ordinarily do, or are they laying back a little on Eason?
In the third down situations, when they have the 7 defensive backs in there, they've probably become 2 times out of 7 or 8 times they've shown it. But they worry you to death with it.
Eason, 23 seconds on the clock. Ernie Staudner, the defensive coach from the Dallas 49. Eason dumping it off, incomplete. Little shot put pass to Derek Ramsey. Incomplete. That was really a hot potato toss.
Eason coming back to check his hand. He has thrown some interesting passes. Some of them shot put passes, some of them push passes, but he has completed a much higher percentage on the season than he's completed today. It's not been a good first half for Tony Eason. What a delightful young man he is. He certainly wears his stardom with almost a gee whiz kind of look,
yeah.
And there's really a great warmth to him.
Yeah, you have to like him. We had a nice chat with him yesterday. 1 out of 11 for New England on third downs in this game, so Dallas has dominated, and here they come. Over the middle, Derek Ramsey lurching forward for a first down, and timeout called. No, may not be. 9-8 seconds showing on the clock.
It's the first of the flag sticks. He's still going to be a 10 yards short there.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He was sacked for it, -10. Let's see. At the 39, whether Tony Franklin, who has a great leg, will try an extremely long field goal.
Tony's longest field goal, a 59-yarder, kicked right here on this field when he was a Philadelphia Eagle.
Well, the 39 would make this one about a 56, 57-yard shot. Former Texas A&M star, grew up
you see him drawing
Metroplex.
He's putting 3-4 marks. He's putting a little square right there. That's where he wants the holder to put that ball down. And when he lines up, he will concentrate on that spot. That will be his spot, and he'll mark it carefully. You see him pointing it out there? He's got it marked. He shows the holder where the spot is.
Eason to hold. It will be a 56-yard attempt. It's short. And with 2 seconds left, 1 play remains before the end of the half. Oh, this has been totally a defensive 30 minutes. And Michael Downs' 27-yard interception with a touchdown for Dallas started it with 2 minutes gone, and since then, while the Cowboys have had a couple of long passes completed to set up a field goal, really not much at all for New England. They got the 1 field goal on Franklin's 29-yard shot after a fumble recovery.
I'd have to think, if I could climb inside Eason's head for a second, that misplay, that interception, may have caused him to become a little reluctant to throw the ball at times in the early going here.
And that will be the end of the first half here in Dallas. The Cowboys and the Patriots in a hunt for a playoff spot. And Tom Landry has a 10-3 lead over his former assistant coach, Raymond Berry. Septien, with the Cowboys leading 10-3, will kick it off to New England. This New England team scoring 88 points in its last 2 games against Buffalo and Indianapolis, but held to just the field goal this afternoon. Tony Collins at the 5. Collins outside and wrestled out of bounds at the 27-yard line. The first half statistics.
Tony Collins on the return.
Neither team really able to move the ball very effectively. 186 total yards for the Cowboys, only 105 for New England. 46 yards passing.
Dick, domination by the defenses in the first half. And, of course, the Dallas defense has hit Easton hard with 6 sacks. Perhaps the biggest negative play for him, that touchdown pass that he threw into the hands of Downs. Only 2 field goals by the offenses, 1 for each side in the first half.
Eason hands it off to James, and James to the 33-yard line. Didn't it show possession time, New England 16-20? Wasn't that the year the folks landed on Plymouth Rock?
Right,
somehow, there's got to be a story there someplace.
Dick, one other very telling stat, that of third down conversions. And these two defenses have really shut down the offenses on that side. We'll show you that stat in just a second. That one will knock your eyes out.
2nd down and 4. Also want to get Bob Greasy's comments as to what Easton and the Patriots have to do differently to show some offense. There's one of the ways as he goes to Stephen Starring, and a first down at the 41. How about it, Bob Greasy? What do you see happening in the second half?
Well, Dick, I think the first half, Tony Eason was very frustrated and unsettled. The first pass he threw, he hasn't thrown many interceptions this year, and I think he was frustrated. They've scored, like you said, 88 points the last 2 weeks, and it's a little bit more difficult coming down here playing the Cowboys and their aggressive defense. And I think he just needs to settle back down and relax, and I think he's going to throw some short passes and get back in the ballgame.
Well, he used the short pass to Starring, get a first down at the New England 42. James, he fumbles. And from the crowd reaction, apparently a Patriot fell on it. That's the case. It was Lynn Dawson, number 87, the right man at the right spot.
Dawson very happy to get his big body on top of that one. And we mentioned third down conversions for the two defenses and how carefully they have dominated. Look at that. The Patriots, 1 of 12 opportunities on third down were converted to first downs. The Cowboys, 1 for 8. Now, when did you see two teams that were shut out as badly on third down?
Thinking the same thing. 2 out of 20 combined. 2nd and 8. James up the middle, but running somewhat tentatively. A gain of about 4, maybe 5. Dutton and Downs made the tackle on this. Michael Downs, 26, comes off that pile. He's the man who scored the only touchdown of the game on a 27-yard pass interception, but every time the ball's been in his area, Downs has been in the right spot. Tom Landry says other than Dorsett, Downs has been his most consistent player all year.
He certainly has been a big player, and as I mentioned earlier, is the leader on this team in tackles from that safety position. He really mixes it up well. A very stout player.
Free agent out of Rice. 3rd and 3. Ramsey in motion. And incomplete to James. And right in the middle of it was Ed Jones with those big arms of his. Jones, as we said, has knocked down 9 passes this year. I don't know if he got a piece of that one, but he certainly spoiled the play.
And let's make it 1 for 13 on third down conversions now.
In the punt, Rich Camarillo. He kicked 7 times in the first half and averaged 44 yards a punt.
That's lower than he averaged last week. Averaged over 47 yards on 6 punts last week, so his power is there. But as he said, he's not controlling that football. He's kicked a couple of them in line drive form.
Gary Allen alone back at the Dallas 10.
That one's high.
Allen fair catches at the 13-yard line. So the Cowboys have it for the first time in the second half. They lead 10-3, and Randy White leaves the field. Camarillo the same, 38 yards on that kick.
I think it might be good to note that New England has not been a fast-starting team all year. Only 3 games have they led at halftime. The 2 games against Buffalo and 1 game against the Colts. They've been a good second-half team, a good come-from-behind team.
No question, they have been much superior in their offensive play in the 3rd and 4th quarters. We'll see if that proves true today. Newsom in motion to give to Dorsett. Breaks out of 1 tackle. And Dorsett pulled down at the 20-yard line. Tippett and Nelson made the tackle.
I think somebody got a hold of Tony's face mask on that play. No call, but Tony stood up and looked back at that linebacker and gave him a hard look. Let's see if we can see it from here. Misdirection play. Dorsett starting to the left, cutting all the way back. Misses, pulls out of a tackle there. Nope, got him by the shoulder pad, from the back of the shoulder pad. Just pulled him down. Watch Andre Tippett fighting right here on the play. An excellent block. That's a good block.
Back to Dorsett, diving close to a first down at the 22-yard line. Larry McGrew and Nelson again in on the tackle. Might be close enough for a measurement.
Steve Nelson mixing it up in there. He takes the defensive signals from Rod Rust on the sideline. In fact, Rod Rust told me, he said, I have so much confidence in him. I've told him if he has a feeling and wants to change the defense, go ahead and do it. There's Rust standing by the side in communication with the coaches in the booth upstairs. Will collect some information from them, but mostly will rely on what is in his head.
3rd and inches for White and the Cowboys. Over the pile, and it appears he picked up enough yardage. Didn't need much. This Dallas Cowboy team, to underline how consistently outstanding they have been year after year since the merger in 1970, they have the best record in the National Football League. Barely. Miami's Dolphins are just a game back, and then in 3rd place the Raiders since the 70 merger. And have been outstanding against the AFC, 34-13. First down, Dallas. Wide open is Tony Hill, and another first down at the 39. 15 yards.
15 yards on the play, and unlike the Dallas Cowboys, New England tends to like to play zone defenses on 1st and 2nd down. In that particular situation, they had the zones covered. Unfortunately, Tony Hill found a place between those zones. Picked up the first down.
Tony Hill went to Long Beach Poly High School. Gene Washington preceded him there. He broke most of Gene Washington's records. Billie Jean King also graduated of that high school. Dorsett, and no room outside. Don Blackman from Tulsa closed the door.
The strength of this New England defense can be found very quickly if you look at the tackling statistics and you watch them play. The 4 leading tacklers, the 4 starting linebackers. They've been outstanding here today. You've seen Tippett on a couple of good aggressive plays to the outside, and you certainly saw an excellent play by Blackman on the other side there.
9:25 left, 3rd quarter. 10-3 Dallas. A loss of 5 on that last play, and White to the air. And misses Doug Donnelly. He had a step on Ernest Gibson, but the pass a little wide.
Still trying to chew on that left cornerback, New England Patriots. Gibson has been in there today. Lippett's been in there. They both had some problems.
Let's go back and talk again about the offensive line of the Cowboys. They have 5 guards playing the 5 positions, and then Kurt Peterson, a starter, was hurt in the first half, and John Hunt just activated a rookie. Another guard is in that front 5 protecting White.
Your coach, Jim Meyer, you got to wonder what's happening to your offensive line and who is trying to chip at you.
Out of the shotgun, 3rd and 15. That won't be enough for a first down as Doriel Harris, wearing Butch Johnson's old number, 86, is popped by Don Blackman, short of the first down by about 6 yards.
Well, let's update that 3rd down conversion stat. Cowboys now 1 of 9.
No, they made one, remember, in inches, third in inches.
2 of 10. Okay, 2 of 10. 1 of 13 for New England. Those still, I think, in total would mark most unusual stats for any game.
Yeah, the way they're going, White and Camarillo are each going to punt 10 times or more. Fryer at the other end. Will he try to return? Apparently, yes. 20, 25, and to the 27-yard line. Steve Diossi, father of twins, made the tackle. Penalty flag down.
We got a holding call against the New England Patriots that will mark it back. Fryer, absolutely a fearless catcher of punts back there. Almost frightening the way he is willing to come up like that. Part of that, I'm sure, is his youth. But when did you last see two top draft picks, number 1 draft picks, packing the ball on special teams on punts and kickoffs?
Well, the holding call while the ball was in the air, so Dallas does not benefit with the first down.
McSwain, number 23, the man they called.
And Dick Jorgensen, our referee, has called time with 8 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the third quarter. New England will start deep in its own end, trailing 10-3.
Today's game is brought to you by Mazda and the full line of sophisticated Mazda products. By Zenith VHS video recorders, the Smart Decks, the video recorders that have everything. And by Sears, where you'll find great values. There's more for your life at Sears.
Third quarter, 8:25 remaining. Dallas 10, New England 3. It's been a defensive struggle. And with the penalty, the Patriots start inside their 15-yard line. Eason rolling to buy some time and in trouble again. And he's down at the 3-yard line. White and Jeff Coat. 7 sacks for the Cowboys.
Cowboys fattening up their sack total. Came into the game with 35. They're now at 42. Down on the line, it's the right side. Holloway trying to keep Jeffcoat out of there. And again, a situation where Eason, if he had gotten the ball off in rhythm, would have had no problem. But the extra time just invited White and the outside man Jeffcoat.
Craig James gives him some breathing room out to the 9. Don Smeary in the defensive tackle position makes the stop.
Number 16,
Randy White has 3 of those sacks today to give him 9.5 for the year and the club lead.
Smearick in place of Duck. Smearick expected to start at the outside position, but Jeffcoat came on early, took that job away from him.
See, the Cowboys have been a better first half team scoring. Patriots much better in the second half. Third and long. Eason to Lynn Dawson. And he fights to the 18. That's far short of the first down. And the Dallas fans cheer their defense again, and well they should.
Even though that play did not pick up the first down, watch the protection develop. We talk about a cup of protection for the quarterback. Watch how it develops here. The rush coming from the Cowboys. Just stop it right there. And look at that cup as it has developed right there for Eason. Here's the option pickup man, the center, Guy Morris on the outside. He's the guy that will pick up the extra blocker.
But short of the first down, and Camarillo to punt again. Allen at his own 42. And the Cowboys with good field position at the 50. Tackle made by McSwain and Robinson. Paul Dombrowski is the star of the special teams for New England. Let's track his movement on that last kick.
Well, there are 2 friends out there to meet him again, Everson Walls and Scott. And boy, I'll tell you, that's just a battle with those 2. Dombrowski says, leave me alone, guys. I got a job to do. And do it, he does. He gets down there. Whoa, hey.
Dallas defense with a breather. They lead 10-3. Michael Downs pass interception for a touchdown. The only touchdown of this game. A couple of short field goals in the first half, and that's been it. 10-3, and Dallas takes over with that nose of the football tickling the 50-yard line. Screen it. Dorsett has 5, 10. He gains 11 and a first down.
Let's take a peek back to a few moments ago. We talk about line stunts, and let's look quickly at what the Cowboys are doing. Randy White over the center will try and take the center away. In this situation, Smirek will drive to the outside to make room for Too Tall Jones to try and get after the quarterback. Let's let the play develop now, and you see that Smirek will try and grab Wooten, the guard. Wooten had no part of it, stayed inside, able to shut the play off.
Cowboys trying to move at least into field goal range. A field goal could play very big the way these teams have struggled to score today. 10-3 Dallas. A little misdirection, and then White off play action, firing wide open. Cosby to the 19.
Talk about a little misdirection. Cosby here is going to come downfield and break across. The guard's going to pull. The quarterback will roll this way. They call a little misdirection. Fouling up. 2 guards pull to the right. The other guard pulls to the left. Personal protector. This is a little problem for the linebackers when they see the 2 guards pull to the right. They think the play's going that way. Good call by Dallas.
Cosby's first catch today is worth 21 yards, and Dallas is deep at the 19. Dorsett, hit off his feet on a solid pop by Don Blackman, number 55. Yard loss on the play.
Another fine play by Blackman, outside linebacker. There are the 4 top tacklers for New England. Interesting, Dick, you look at the top tacklers for Dallas, and you have to go to the number 9 position of tacklers to find a linebacker. They are not getting the performance out of their linebackers that they have been used to in the past.
Dorsett now has gained only 20 yards rushing, 14 tries. White looking for 6. Tony Hill couldn't get there, and Danny White at the other end took quite a shot from Julius Adams, the veteran defensive end.
You mentioned that he's the oldest active defensive lineman in the league. I got talking to him yesterday, and I said, Julius, I hear you've been dyeing your hair. He really got upset. He said, who told you that? Watch him here. He certainly doesn't show his age as he just barrels right over the top of Danny White.
Adams, who is from Macon, Georgia, the same high school. Boy, what a high school history. Blue Moon Odom, the great Hall of Famer Jim Parker, Tommy Hart, the former 49er star, all went to the same high school. Julius Adams attended. 3rd and 11. Donnelly struggling to the 8-yard line. That might be enough for a 1st and goal. It is.
White lightning. Just a little move down inside, circles behind Roland James, and found room in front of Ronnie Lippett, number 42.
See, the man in motion will come out into the flat. It goes down here right in this area, separating the defense. Good throw by Danny White.
They needed 11. They get 12. It's 1st and goal at the 8-yard line. 3:20 left in the 3rd quarter. Newsome fumbles out of bounds. The Cowboys get a break as Newsome jarred by Don Blackman, and is Blackman having a big game.
Dick, what success the Cowboys have had, and they have moved the ball well in this drive, has come by the air routes. Only 2 first downs by rushing in this ball game. Most of their success throwing the football.
Boy, looks are deceiving, aren't they? He looks so gentle and nice in the way he's cracking people and forcing that ball loose. A minus yard on that last play for Blackman, 6'3" and 235 from Tulsa. 2nd and goal at the 9. For Donnelly, Lippett covering for New England.
Cowboys continue to try and isolate left cornerbacks. Rod Rust alternating those corners. Lippett in for a while, Gibson in for a while, but both have had trouble covering the Cowboy receivers.
Danny White, what did he say yesterday? He said, I'm going to play this game as if it's the very last game of my life. He said, this is serious. We've got to get this thing turned around.
The Cowboys have responded to the challenge today.
3rd and goal at the 9. Looking for 6. He's got it. Tony Hill. Touchdown this year, Tony Hill on a perfect strike from Danny White.
It's going to be a similar play to what Danny White just hit. The man in motion will come out here. Hill just folds up and breaks to the inside. Touchdown inside. Good release, gets inside of the defensive back. 6 points.
This catch for Tony Hill, 101 yards for the top yardage maker for Dallas today, and Septien adds the extra point.
Let's go back and look at Tony Hill. Now, the first job he has to do is to get away from the brush on the line. Lippett is trying to keep him outside. Hill did a good job of giving him a little fake and breaking hard to the inside to make that play possible. A little double move. Outstanding play by Hill.
Best coverage on that play by our cameraman. Tony Hill, who's been the top yardage man receiving the last 6 seasons for Dallas, has 101 yards today and a touchdown. It's 17-3, and the pressure now on New England with 3:03 left in the 3rd quarter. Good kick by Septien. Collins at the goal line. Tony Collins. Look out. So he fumbles the ball, and New England is able to cover Tim Golden, it appeared, 59 at the 28-yard line. Oh, New England dangerously close to giving it right back to the Cowboys. New England has 14 points to make up. First 8 games under Ron Meyer, Patriots averaged 21 a game. Raymond Berry, 34 a game, but only 3 through almost 3 quarters today. And the Dallas defense, without question, has really confused young Tony Eason. He's not had a good day. But there's time. Dumps it off to Craig James. And James has good yardage out to about the 44. A first down before Hegman can catch him.
Tony Eason's pass complete to number 32, Craig
Casey joined us late, 2 minutes into the game. Michael Downs intercepted Eason, 27 yards, a touchdown, 7-0 Dallas. New England got a short field goal, 29 yards from Tony Franklin, and Raphael Septien came back to answer that for the Dallas Cowboys in the 2nd quarter to make it 10-3 at the half. Only score of this 3rd period, the 9-yard touchdown strike from Danny White to Tony Hill. 16 yards on that pass from Eason to James. First down at the 44. James again. And he's close to midfield. We'd like to say the crowd is offering all that vocal support in some purposeful way. It's just the wave again. I'm not so sure about what. I'm getting a little sick of it. Yeah, I've seen this shot about as many times as I want to see it. It's nice the fans get involved, but are they really involved, or are they just having a good time? Well, I guess
they're burning off some calories, Dick. That's one thing you can say about it.
That's right.
If you're down there, maybe you get tired of sitting.
2nd down and 3. Craig James, 45-40. And he's all the way to the Dallas 27-yard line. So unable to throw the ball effectively, the Patriots have gone to the ground game.
James will go to the sideline, burned a lot of energy off on that play. 2 quick tosses to the outside to take away, to go after the deep playing Dallas defense, and then the little draw play. Hannah doing a good job of keeping White out of that play. And we talked about James accelerating after he breaks clear. You saw his excellent speed on that play.
Well, what a backfield that must have been with SMU. Eric Dickerson and Craig James. Oh, my. Eason guns the ball complete. Derek Ramsey. He's to the 1-yard line, carrying Ron Fellows with him. It's 1st and goal, New England. The best drive of the day for the Patriots.
And in a suddenly explosive offensive burst, Tony Eason has taken his troops the length of the field. This is an excellent catch. Watch how Ramsey has to stretch with this ball. Out in front of him, very good hand control, body control. Eason getting a double look, looked inside and then fired that ball outside, and Ramsey did everything he could, actually bumped his own man or he'd have been in the end zone.
And that'll be the end of the 3rd quarter. When we open the 4th period, the Patriots are 1 yard away from a touchdown that would close the gap. Dallas 17, New England 3. Back after these words, local station. Ramsey. So they came back to Ramsey, the man who made the outstanding catch to give them 1st and goal at the 1. He had 3 touchdowns last week on 3 consecutive catches.
After being dormant for the 3rd quarter, 3 first downs in that drive, 4 in the entire quarter. The payoff here, and this is the kind of play, if it works, it's great. If it doesn't, you get second guess for the rest of the afternoon. They fooled him with a little play action pass. No question about it. Derek Ramsey covered in the open there. Good block, good protection in there by Bo Robinson, the H-back.
Tony Franklin's try for point is good. And suddenly it's a touchdown game with the entire 4th quarter to play. Impressive drive. Eason to Ramsey for the payoff. 17-10 Dallas. We'll kick it off. 17-10 Dallas. The entire 4th quarter yet to play. 5 seconds expired in this period. And it's Allen again at the 4. He returns to the 21-yard line. On this Thanksgiving Day, a couple of Hall of Famers, Merlin Olsen and Bob Greasy. Bob, did you ever think that with the trouble Eason had in the first half that they might go to the backup quarterback Grogan?
I don't think so. I think that decision has been made. The fact that he's played so well in the last several weeks. I think if you took him out of the ball game now, he would lose some confidence. And I think he's the man for him, and he's going to be in there win or lose.
Done a good job in that last drive.
Good job. I wish you guys had told me you were going to wear your red sweaters. I'd have got dressed up today.
What are you promoting? The Citrus Bowl here? I mean, the yellow. All right, here we go. The Cowboys 17-10. And now pressure on Danny White for a drive. And he goes to Hill, the touchdown man. About 4 yards on that play to the 25 before Steve Nelson from North Dakota State and Ernest Gibson of Furman can team up on the tackle. The statistics through 3 quarters now. The Cowboys a plus 54 in total yards. Possession time for almost 4 minutes more for the Patriots. Only 34 yards rushing for Dallas.
Patriots have done a nice job of shutting their running game off, and they are beginning to boost their rushing yardage in that quarter. Secret to that long drive by New England, there were no 3rd downs in the drive. They just exploded.
Eason was 4 for 4 and 50 yards. 2nd and 6. Dorsett. And he doesn't get much except the arms of Steve Nelson. And I suppose with that rebuilt offensive line of Dallas, it's hurting their running game more than the passing game.
Well, you destroy the timing of both the running and the pass protection. But no question, it's difficult enough to play a position you're used to playing, let alone to be asked to play one that you have not played in a period of time. And, another one of those offensive linemen, Glenn Titensor, gets up limping. Now, you've got to be wondering right now, if you're a Dallas Cowboy, Dal Ottman, he's probably over there shaking his head. I don't know if he wants to go in there. He hasn't had much training in that offensive line.
3rd and 4, and you see Rafferty, the center, reaching back to ask White a question. Going to try to throw for the first down. Oh, almost intercepted by 42 Ronnie Lippett, who cut in front of Doug Donnelly.
If Ronnie Lippett hangs on to that football, he has a touchdown, Dick. Much like the play that we saw earlier with Downs, it's just sideline and all the way into the end zone. Danny White getting pressure from Tippett on the other side. Andre Tippett, hands up in front of him. That's not a good throw. Also, Larry.
Don Blackman. So White will punt. Cowboys used only a little over a minute while they had the football. Moving Fryer. He's a threat back at the 32. Beautiful kick. Fryer at the 32. Running the wrong way. He could not outrun Bill Bates.
Well, there's some risks back there. If you've got the speed to take that punt back, occasionally you try the big one, and sometimes it costs you. It did right there.
A minus 11 yards, a minus 13 on the return.
Today's game is brought to you by the new Chrysler Corporation. We don't want to be the biggest, we just want to be the best. By Wang. Wang puts people in front of computers. And by Kodak. When the moment means more, trust it to Kodak Videotape.
And on the Thanksgiving menu, Dallas and New England. It's 17-10 Cowboys. New England with the ball at its 19. Young Tony Easton at the controls. Down again at the 14-yard line. Ed Jones, that's the 8th sack today for the Cowboys.
Good, smart coaching on the Dallas side of the field. They put their normal defense on the field, and just before live action commenced, they ran in 3 extra defensive backs. 7 defensive backs on the field. Eason broke the huddle, and instead of facing the normal 4-3 defense, he was looking at 7 defensive backs.
That is as many times a Patriot quarterback has been sacked in their history. 8. Let's see, Fryer, Sims, Jones, former number 1 picks. Craig James right into the arms of Too Tall. James not real happy about it either. Jones, who was the very first player picked back in 1974, took some time off to try professional boxing, was 6-0, and said, now that is really a rough way to make a living. I'm going back to the shoulder pads and helmet. And since then has been a much better player and an all-pro the last 3 years.
Well, actually claimed that discipline and the work with his hands and his feet helped him as a football player.
1 for 14 in third downs, and this won't be an easy shot. 3rd and 13. In trouble is Eason. Just does stay on his feet. And down he goes again. That will be another sack and a record sacks allowed by New England. Bill Bates, as he had a game.
I think Eason actually believed that he had gone down. I saw him look back at the official as if he had heard a whistle. And by the time he got his head back around, Bill Bates was right up in his face. But I think Eason thought he had been sacked already.
He's a big New York Yankee fan, Bill Bates. Boy, he's hitting like Don Mattingly. Not missing many today.
Boy, they're ganging up on those outside men again.
Camarillo to punt to Allen. Cowboys should come out of this with excellent field position. And
Another
it's a
low
short
kick. Not a good kick.
Oh, it takes a great bounce. Whoa! And out of bounds where? At the 34-yard line. So Camarillo, there's one of those bad kicks that turned good with that wonderful roll, the best friend of the punter. At the start of this 1984 season, these men were the starting quarterbacks. Gary Hogeboom from Central Michigan for the Cowboys, and Kansas State Steve Grogan, the veteran. But they have relinquished that honor, and White now back in for Dallas. And Tony Eason has been a marvel for New England. Ron Springs benched for Timmy Newsom. This is his first appearance today. Play action. Great protection. Oh, there's there's a case where White may have thrown it purposely tall because there were a lot of anxious red jerseys going after it.
Like about 5 New England Patriots right around Doug Cosby. 77, Kenny Sims putting a little pressure on White on that last play. Luther Henson now playing on the nose. Looks like Luther does not look like your ordinary nose tackle, Dick.
6 feet tall, 275. 2nd and 10 for Landry's Cowboys. Down the middle, and Springs, or no, it's Hill, has the ball short of the first down. It'll depend on where they mark it. Now they give him a good mark at the 44, and that might be good enough for a first down.
Excellent pickup of the blitz by the Cowboy offensive line, and that's something you would not expect with that revamped offensive line. I'm sure that the Cowboys are just terribly proud of what they have been able to do today. Let's look at them here as you see the blitzing linebackers coming in. Springs picks up one on the outside. Both guards option pickup, doing a good job. John Hunt, we said he just came off the injured reserve and a rookie to boot. Did exactly what he was supposed to do on that play. And you see the mark there, just a few inches shy of the first down.
So 3rd and inches. Ron Springs there to pick up one of the linebackers.
A mismatch here. Springs is giving away about 30 pounds on that play to Steve Nelson. Paid a little price for taking that shot, but he did what he was supposed to do.
3 tight ends in for Dallas. Springs and Dorsett in an eye. And it's Dorsett. He doesn't make it. Shooting through was Larry McGrew. McGrew from Southern California, Rose Bowl starter, beat Michigan and Ohio State 2 games and the Granddaddy. Good size.
We have had a lot of crucial 3rd down plays, short yardage plays stopped today. New England unable to pick up short yardage plays early in the first half. And right here, a brilliant play by the linebackers who have been playing well all day. Ernie Stotner getting things diagrammed over on his sideline. A couple of the defensive backs back to check things out with him. And White going to run it.
It's going to be close. It'll depend where they spot. I think he made it. White is the best in the business at that. Ed Reynolds made the tackle, but White appeared with that final lurch forward to get the first down.
Very interesting call by a punter quarterback with a bad shoulder. Shows you how bad he wants to win. And they're going to measure it. I think you're right, Dick. I think he's got it.
With that mark, we're going to hear a roar from the Cowboy fans.
And Landry gives him the green light. He lets Danny make that decision, and he usually makes it right.
Danny White was looking at right here. He's looking at these 2 defensive men. If they turn and run away, he'll take off and see if he can make the first down. They hit into their man. They think he's going to punt it, then they take off downfield. White waiting for it. Like to get him a little bit more yardage than that. You don't like it to be that close.
Dennis Owens, number 95, missed a tackle there that would have saved it. Almost.
Now, Ed Reynolds is the man who finally made the hit. Dorsett. And he's in New England territory after a 7-yard run. You know, White has tried that 19 times in his career and made good on 15, so it's been a great weapon through the years. And the clock running, 9:34 instead of New England getting the ball on that 4th down. White has kept it in possession of the Cowboys.
Well, it evens out the turnovers on the kicking game. Cowboys earlier offsides on a punt, turned the ball back over to New England.
Ron Springs juggling that handoff and then losing a yard. Steve Nelson, Toby Williams there to greet him. Nelson, college senior at North Dakota State, was married. He had a one-day honeymoon, and he spent that one day going to the Minnesota Vikings practice in Mankato, Minnesota. His wife knew in a hurry that she was really married to football.
Well, he's been a great pro. About as tough a football player as you find around the league. You could hear the stories out of New England. He'll come at you when he's hobbling on a half a leg.
Third down, about 4.5. Late coming on the field is Jones. He just has reported they were short a man. Going deep. And almost intercepted by Fred Marion. Marion, I think, was hampered by his own teammate. That's 2 that he's almost had today. So Dallas will be in punt formation. We won't say they're going to kick, but they'll be in punt formation.
Chewing up on that corner over there, and Marion giving some deep help to Ernest Gibson, the left cornerback. Tony Hill had enough room, but Gibson over there to bat it away. Well, is he going to kick this time?
I would think that the fake wouldn't work back-to-back, but who's to say?
Well, he'll be looking. You better believe he'll watch him.
Fryer near his own 10.
Well, they waited that time, Dick.
Fryer, will he try to run it? Or he's going to gamble again. He wants the chance, doesn't he? 17-yard line, the tackle is made. Here it's 17-10, and on Saturday, boxing on NBC, James Kinchin applies the heat to USBA champion Alex Ramos on NBC. Number 56, replacing Bob Brunig, Eugene the Hitting Machine Lockhart. In that middle linebacking position, the rookie from Houston. Trailing by 7, New England takes over. Deep in its own end, and it's Craig James hit right at the line of scrimmage. Randy White got him.
Craig James, the ball carrier, he is hit by Randy White.
And understanding the flex defense, it's as easy as understanding a lecture in nuclear physics in Chinese, says Lockhart.
Well, Dick, we talk about the quarterback position being the most important on the field. And we've also tried to isolate the most important person defensively. In the old 4-3 or in a 4-3 defense, it's that middle linebacker. Here in Dallas, Eugene Lockhart is playing that position.
On 2nd and 9, Eason. Oh, lucky that wasn't intercepted. Ron Fellows much closer than Stanley Morgan. 7:25 left in the 4th quarter. 17-10 Dallas.
One of the things that Lockhart has to do is to call all of the defenses and the adjustments for this very complex flex defense. And that's a real challenge when you're also trying to earn your way into the lineup as a rookie on a veteran team. And Bob Brunig said this youngster has all of the tools and one day will be a great middle linebacker, and apparently is the heir apparent to that great tradition of middle linebackers here in Dallas.
Here's where Eason is going to look at a rush. Buys some time and finds Starring the open man, and that'll be good enough for a first down at the 30-yard line.
Well,
Everson Walls made the tackle.
That's a second third down they picked up all day long. Eason's probably saying it's about time.
And Eason has moved over the 50% mark with that completion. He's 16 for 31. 1 touchdown, a yard to Ramsey, and 1 interception that went for a touchdown to Dallas and Michael Downs. 6:50 left. 17-10 Dallas. Going long. Oh my, was that close to Stanley Morgan for 6. What a play by Ron Fellows. Just did get his hand in the way.
Ron Fellows outclassed in the speed department, probably gives up a few tenths of a second, maybe even a little more than that. Stanley Morgan breaks it deep. He's just going straight up the field, and watch Fellows just stretch out to the last possible link. He's got that with his fingernails.
The Cowboys are toughest in the league. 45% completion opponents have had against this Dallas defense. That's only one of 4 teams that are actually under 50% of defense. So they are truly outstanding, and they're showing it again today against Eason, who is exactly 50%, 16-32. And a flag down. That'll be against number 22, Victor Colorado.
Scott bumping Ramsey, and Ramsey furious about it. Maybe doing a little play acting for the referees, but coming across the center of your, right on the left-hand side. There it is. Number 22, Scott, bumped him before the ball arrived. I don't think he could have caught it anyway, Dick.
Merlin, Dick, take a look. Randy White is right here. He's standing up like a linebacker, 47 clink scale. He's going to blitz. They're both going to try and rush a passer. They're going to end up colliding together. One of the few times that the scheme of the Dallas Cowboys hasn't paid off for them as you see them colliding.
That's one of the things you'd like to do, is bump those defenders together if you're in that offensive line. Make them knock each other off their pass routes.
5-yard penalty for holding. Eason over the middle, complete to his tight end, Lynn Dawson, to the 45, close to 10 yards on the play. Clock says 6:25 remaining in this fourth quarter.
After scoring 50 points last week, Eason must be looking up at that scoreboard and wondering if this isn't a mistake. He's only got 10, well below his average of late, and certainly well below what they need to get back in this game. They need 7 right here.
And neither team can afford a defeat in this, the 13th week, and entertain high hopes of the playoffs. A win will keep both clubs alive, but a loss would be disastrous.
Got an audible. Let's see. There they go. They're calling a different defense on him.
Scott made his move. Had Derek Ramsey be able to juggle that one back into his grasp, he had a lot of room on the far sidelines.
Cowboys crowding the line, forcing the audible again, and then dropping off, changing their defense. Ramsey breaking to the outside. That one's in his hands. Eason delivered it in the right place, and Ramsey, I'm sure, will be upset when he looks at that one in the films.
Now, Ramsey was a former quarterback at Kentucky, and Stephen Starring was a quarterback at McNeese State, so they got some people who are catching the football that really their background was throwing it. Here they come, a full house, and he gets it off neatly to Clarence Weathers. Weathers from Delaware State. He went there 1 year, brother of Robert Weathers, dropped out of school, and the Patriots, because of the Brother Act, able to pick him up.
Here's what Eason has been looking at all day. These two men will come right up the middle and blitz. This time the receiver sees it, will break his pattern to the inside. If they can ever get this ball where they hits it right on stride and keeps going with it, they got a touch. But the defensive back sees it. The defensive backs, the corners, know that's coming. They come up and make the tackle.
Good read by Eason and good read by the receiver, Bob.
Third down, and it's a very short 4, closer to 3. Play action. Eason. He's going to eat it again. The 9th sack today for Dallas. Make it 10 sacks as the Cowboys cleaning up. They had only 31 all year and have 10 today.
You're going to have to take off a shoe if they get any higher, Dick.
Eason could not find a man open.
It appeared that Eason had a chance there to run for the first down, and perhaps should have. Has excellent acceleration.
Cowboy record is 11 in a game against the Lions in 1975, so they're one short of their own record. Camarillo kicking to Allen. New England roll to the 10-yard line. 4:22 left. Dallas by 7. Of 6. Ray Claiborne at the corner made the tackle. Games remaining for Dallas, 3 after this one, at Philadelphia, home to Washington, and finish on a Monday night at Miami. So not an easy trip for Dallas. For New England, 8-4 coming in, tied with the Raiders in that regard, home to St. Louis, then at Philadelphia, home to Indianapolis. Those will be 3 cold weather games, that's for certain. Second and 4. Newsom He'll be a long yard from a first down. Dennis Owens and Larry McGrew with a tackle, and the clock running here in the fourth quarter.
Getting down to the point where we've got to start thinking about the playoffs. Who's going to be there?
I hear that with a star, the teams that are leading their divisions, Miami, Denver, and Pittsburgh, and Seattle obviously going to get in one way or the other. Then New England and the Raiders, and at this point, New England has the advantage over the Raiders, so Los Angeles has to be rooting for Dallas. That's a strange position. Got the Bears. San Francisco's already clinched it. Then Dallas, Giants, and Washington all tied, but the Giants actually in the playoff structure, the tiebreaker, are number one. And Danny White does not like the call on 3rd and 1 and has used one of his timeouts with 2:58 left. Let's go back to that playoff structure. That obviously in the NFC East, those three teams battling for the wild card as well as first place at 7 and 5, but Dallas is actually in the 3rd position.
Well, they certainly have not done as well within the division and within their conference. The Giants really have the lead there and are, in essence, because of their record within the division, in excellent position if they end up in a tie with the Cowboys. Of course, the Cowboys hoping that someone else will give them a little help along the way and dump the Giants.
We're just looking. There have been 20 punts in this game, and in case you're wondering if that's close to an NFL record, no, 31. The Bears in Green Bay in 1933. I guess 33 was the year of the punt. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh also kicked it 31 times in 33. All right, there it is again. 49ers, Chicago, and then you got the Rams, who are, in this case, rooting for New England today because they're battling for that wild card spot. St. Louis still not eliminated.
That wild card certainly has created, as you said, some strange bedfellows.
New Orleans should be there at 6 and 6 as well. Want to upset the fans down in the Crescent City, who came up with a big win on Monday night against the Steelers. Big play. Dallas gets a first down. They can start really working on New England's timeouts.
They've only had one this quarter, Dick.
And White. Incomplete. Intended for Fred Cornwell, the rookie from Southern California. Of course, the incomplete pass stops the clock, and New England will have 2:53. And there are 3 timeouts left.
We have given out some plaudits to that reconstructed offensive line. Herb Scott is playing over there at the left tackle position, number 68, and playing on a gimpy leg. You see him right here on Toby Williams, number 90. Let's give him a little look here. He does a good job of pushing his man outside. He gets there, but he gets there late. And I think perhaps the most impressive thing to be about Dallas today is the way that offensive line has played after all of their problems with injury.
Danny White, very high and toward the near sidelines. Fryer comes up to the 44, breaks one tackle and another before he falls into Dallas territory at the 49. Well, you have to love the spirit of Fryer. He certainly doesn't mind the contact. A 32-yard punt, a 7-yard return, and Tony Eason will start in Dallas territory. Let's see, is there a flag now? And some confusion down there. Holding against New England, that will hurt the Patriots.
Well, that'll march them back 10, and the note goes down on Coach Berry's pad. I wonder what he wrote down. Maybe someone's name for a little conversation later on.
So instead of having the ball at the 49,
number 59, receiving team, while the ball is in the air.
Tim Golden.
First down.
So instead of the ball at the 49, New England will start at its 35. 2 minutes and 42 seconds remaining.
As you might expect, Dallas in the ball game with 7 defensive backs, and they'll be trying to stay deep, try and force Eason to work his way down the field. This might be the last time that Eason has the football and is a long ways away from that Dallas goal line.
Eason able to get away from pressure and get it out to his tight end Ramsey. Like rush all the way to the 49 of the Cowboys and a first down. 15 yards on the play.
Dexter's strength scale is no easy man, and he's up there bouncing along behind like a tin can. Ramsey running with real power on that play. Jones coming in from the outside, pushed away on that play. But watch how Ramsey will run with Clinkscale hanging on behind.
That's a 9-yard carry for Clinkscale. You need a fair for that. 2:34 left, fourth quarter. New England trying to tie it up. Not that way. Closest man to the ball was Craig Hawthorne, former Steeler #1 pick out of Baylor.
Hard to tell exactly what Eason was doing on that play. Hawthorne looked to be open. I think Eason may have been throwing it shorter, and someone expected to come across the middle did not make the play. 2nd and 10.
Talking with Tony Eason yesterday, and he said, I want to talk to you about Wimbledon. Boy, he said, I'd like to go there sometime. I'm really excited about that. Well, this is like the tiebreaker in tennis, only he's trying to tie it up himself with 2.5 minutes left. 17-10 Dallas. Look at that lineup for the Cowboys. Now they back off. Down the middle he goes. Almost intercepted. Actually, Hawthorne was breaking into the clear on this side, and the ball thrown to the other between 4 Cowboys.
I think the Cowboys were reacting to the throw of the football. Hawthorne continued upfield. He does not see this football. Little move inside and then breaks outside. Now watch the Cowboys. They've seen the throw on the football. They are going to try and make the interception.
3rd and 10.
Cowboys again doing a good job of mixing it up. Coming up and showing Eason a blitz and then backing off. Coming up at the last second to blitz against Eason.
2 for 17 third down conversions for the Patriots. No, yes, there's the flag. It did appear to be contact at the 42. Cedric Jones and Victor Scott is nailed for the second time. First down.
Good run by Jones. You see it here. No question about it. Cedric arrived too early on that play. He'll draw the ticket, but not big yardage on the play. Will be a first down inside the 45-yard line.
Boy, Larry Cirillo, our producer, and Ted Nathanson, our director, they get the drumstick. They haven't missed a thing. Cameraman right on that one. First down at the 44 with 2:20 left. Dallas leads by 7. Here they come. To James. He's at the 30, the 25, the 20. Craig James down at the 1-foot line. Oh, my. They tackled Eason. 3 men had Eason, but James had the football. 43-yard play.
They've been getting Eason all day. This time, Eason's going to get a part of them. Downs and Bates, he's going to make a little handoff. He's going to split it right up here and make a big play out of it.
What a great job Eason did in just getting that handoff. They had him. He handed it off on the way down, and great speed on the part of James.
Greg James, the ex-pony on the gallop. We're about fantastic finishes.
To desperation time for Dallas in the playoffs. Trailing San Francisco 28-13, Roger Staubach comes off the bench and hits Billy Parks on a nifty one up the middle. After a field goal following an onside kick, Staubach is back with a perfect strike to Ron Sellers in the end zone. The miraculous Cowboys score 17 points in the fourth quarter and steal a shot at the championship from the 40.
Live by the blitz, you die by the blitz. Michael Downs right here. Watch him in action. He'll come blitzing in. He has Eason, but Eason has the football in the arms of Craig James, and of course James does the rest of it with his speed down the sideline.
And that was the longest run of the entire season for the Patriots. I think their previous high was 25. He got 43, just narrowly missed the end zone. The ball is less than a foot away from that final strike.
But they still have to get it inside of that end zone.
And they've had trouble on short yardage the whole game, but they have 4 shots at it as the Cowboys dig in.
They threw the last time they were close like this, Dick.
Eason sneaking ahead, touchdown. Aided by a critical pass interference call. That was the first down back at the 45, and then the 43-yard run by Jesse Craig James on the draw.
Watch the surge of this red-shirted offensive line. A good job. Guy Morris in there doing a good job. Wooten. Oh, pushing those Cowboys aside.
He needs the kick to tie. 17-16. Now it's on Franklin's toe. He's got it. And with 1 minute 58 seconds left, the Dallas Cowboys are going to have to show that they can rally to win it. It's 17-all. As the New England Patriots, with 2 touchdowns in this fourth quarter, one an Eason to Ramsey 1-yard pass and an Eason sneak, culminating a 65-yard drive in 5 plays.
They have been a comeback team throughout this season. They proved that they can do it again here against the Cowboy defense that had been shutting them out with regularity in the first half. Young Tony Eason has to feel much better right now, Dick.
Well, who do you like, Merlin, the new Bronx Bomber or the Heat in the kitchen? I know you follow the boxing closely, and of course we have a big one coming up on Saturday, Sports World. The new Bronx Bomber, Alex Ramos, puts his USBA middleweight title on the line against James the Heat Kinchin, and also top bowlers in the PBA Tour, Budweiser Classic, and then one of the great golfers in the history of the sport to play the skins game with big dollars at stake. That's Saturday here on NBC, and then Sunday a full lineup of NFL basketball. All right, of NFL football. Basketball's coming too. That's the next weekend. Tom Landry, Danny White. Let's call in Bob Greasy. What do you think they're chatting about, Robert?
31, Joey Allen, 35.
Yeah, we're going to have to get Bob's mic open first. All right, here they come with the kickoff. And a good return. Brian Solomon, the Finn from the University of Montana. Bob?
I think Dallas is one of the best screen teams in the National Football League, Dick, and also draws. So I think you're going to see some screens and draws to get them started and then throw the ball downfield.
Plenty of time for the Cowboys. They did spend one timeout, you'll recall, when Danny White on 3rd and short yardage call time. But plenty of time for Dallas.
Wouldn't surprise me to see one of their gimmicks, too. They're famous for doing some tricky plays in a situation like this.
Out of the shotgun, White. He has Hill to the right, Donnelly left. But hands, to Dorsett. He gets a great bounce, and here he comes. Finally out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Ray Claiborne got him. Oh, what a bounce for the Cowboys.
Tony Dorsett just literally ran over Andre Tippett, number 56. We've seen Tippett in action all day long. Watch Dorsett scoop it up. Tippett, well, I take it back. Was not Tippett. It was right there. It was Raymond Claiborne, number 26. But he just leveled him. Knocked him right on the ground.
Well, you talk about concentration. Dorsett's eyes riveted on that football, and it took his bounce, the kind of bounce he needed. That is not a penalty. They just had improperly marked the ball as the call was Dorsett stepped out of bounds at the 46. Ray Berry sees that clock stopped 1:46, and he might have to think about getting the ball one more time himself.
Well, if you're a Cowboy, you know you've got Raphael Septien over there. That's got to be a great deal of comfort.
Danny White. Complete at the 33-yard line to Doug Donnelly. And so the Cowboys now, should they have to kick a field goal, this would be 50 yards, and that is in Septien's range.
The Cowboys on the sideline wanted a penalty call on Ernest Gibson, who hit Donnelly out of bounds. Watch Gibson. There's no call for this. Gibson is frustrated. Donnelly is way out of bounds. Gibson pushes him in the back, and watch Randy White coming over. He said, "Hey, you don't call this, I'll take care of it myself."
Now the Cowboys with 1:40 left. At the New England 34, first down. The game tied at 17. Is it a catch? No, he trapped the ball, and the Cowboy sidelines furious. Even Tom Landry scooted down there to give the official a word or two.
And oh, what excitement. To have it all boil down to this. You play for 60 minutes, and here we are, a minute 30 seconds. Minute 36, and they're going after it.
Can't quite tell from that. Yet the ball was on the carpet. A good call, as most often it is. It's the fans and the coaches and players who see it with their hearts, and the officials have to watch with the eyes. Second and 10 with 1:36 left. Tony Hill, no flag. Ernest Gibson, there certainly appeared to be some contact.
Well, they just have continually gone after Gibson and Lippett on that left corner. Again and again and again, they go after your weakness until you can protect it. New England able to dodge that bullet, and it's 3rd and 10. Oh, and what a terrible down that has been for both teams today. Let's see if the Cowboys can break the jinx here.
If not, if this pass is incomplete, assuming it is, it will be Septien for a 50-yard game-winning try. 1:31 left.
They may go for a short pass just to get better yardage, Rick.
They've got Hill for a first down, it appears. Marion and Gibson made the tackle, and Tony Hill has given the Cowboys a first down. Timeout has been called by Dallas. You saw Landry ask for the timeout with 1:08 left.
And again, the play going right at the left corner for New England. Hill had scared Gibson earlier with his speed on that last play to beaten him cleanly downfield. And on this play, just goes down and stops. Looked like Gibson's feet slipped out from underneath him. There is help inside, but Hill, knowing exactly what he needed for the first down, already had the yardage.
Now, one of the thoughts might be, Merlin, strategically, for the Cowboys to stay on the ground, eat up as much of the clock, so when they do try the field goal, New England won't have time to come back. And it would be about a 40-yard attempt now.
Septien very deadly from that range and relatively immune to the pressure. He's a most unusual kicker. But I'm sure that they will attempt to grind it out, get a little closer to that goal line. But mostly, they're thinking, let's not make a mistake. Let's not turn the ball over.
Well, last Sunday in San Diego, we saw in overtime the Chargers doing the very same thing, and they were just trying to get in position. Actually, it called the wrong play, but didn't correct it, and ran it in for a touchdown to beat Miami. Bob Greasy?
But what Merlin said, I agree with it completely. They're in no hurry to score. They've got a minute to get down there. And I'm sure on the sideline, Landry calls the plays, but he's going to call something that Danny White likes if he throws it. He asked him if he likes this play or that play.
The ball is at the New England 22-yard line. First down, Dallas. 1:08 left. Uriel Harris and Hill and Donnelly, 3 wide receivers. White out of the shotgun. Sometimes they run that little draw out of this. Ooh. Man was open. James had fallen down, but Donnelly could not handle a pass. I'm a little surprised at that call.
Well, and the Dallas Cowboys have shown us the blitz all afternoon. In this drive, New England blitzing repeatedly to try and repel the Cowboys. The Cowboys able to pick it up. And again, let's hand out some bouquets to that offensive line, a makeshift offensive line, and the backs who are doing a good job of picking up the blitz.
Another game earlier today, the Lions doused the Packers' hopes as they defeated Green Bay 31-28. Here it's 17-all with 1:03 left, and Dallas trying to drive for the winning score. There's that draw, and it's Jones. He's hammered. Julius Adams, and the veteran lineman, he was looking for that play all the way.
Well, either he was looking for it or he just happened to be in the right spot. Julius just leveled him. Again, we're back to third down, a crucial first down pickup. In this quarter, Dallas had only one first down before this drive began, Dick.
New England will call time So Raymond Berry thinking ahead, feeling that, well, if he does kick a field goal here, we want to at least save ourselves some time to try something of our own. There's Septien. We told you earlier, just absolutely incredibly successful from 40 yards in his career. In his career, Septien has tried 99 field goals inside the 40 and made 88. Only 11 misses in 99 tries, and right now it would be about a 40-yard chance. Third down, and play is resumed, and 10. There's his record this year, 15 out of 16. So he's almost perfect from the 40 on in.
On defense right now, you have to be thinking about the takeover, about turning the ball over. If Dallas tries to run the football, you'll see the New England Patriots stripping at that football. Of course, if the ball is in the air, although they won't give that reception, they'll try and take it away from them, try and intercept the ball. If they can do that, of course, they're looking to an overtime. If they can't, they're going to have to try and block a field goal here.
White out of the shotgun. Will he gamble with one more pass? Yes. And he has it to Cosby, the 6-yard line. And let's see if Landry goes right to the field goal. 16 yards on the play.
After blitzing repeatedly, the New England Patriots came with a 4-man rush, dropped everyone back, playing the zone, and Cosby able to find the mark. Danny White reading that defense perfectly, got him the football on the 6.
You saw Landry sending Dorsett in, but he didn't get in time. Clock is running down to 10 seconds, 9 seconds, and they almost ran out of time, down to 7 seconds as they flirted with that electronic monster, and here comes Septien and a chance to win it for Dallas. I don't think this requires any description at all. Trying to spoil the drama of the moment by calling time and put a little more pressure on Septien. Well, that's to be expected.
Bob, we have a chance to talk here. Looking at that drive and watching White bring him down the field, that has to be the kind of thing that pleases you most as a quarterback, to do it under pressure.
Well, I think, too, Merlin, the fact that he's been back and forth in and out of the lineup all year, and now he's gotten the starting assignment again today. The passes that he threw late in that drive told me that Tom Landry has a lot of confidence in Danny White, and White has a lot of confidence in himself. I'm sure White was telling him, let's throw it. I'm sure that I'm not going to throw it away or turn the ball over. So I was very impressed with White on the last drive.
I must say this, that it certainly wasn't a conservative approach.
No, it wasn't. And I like that. I respect the Cowboys for that. And we started this day by talking about how much was on the line for Landry and these Cowboys. And this victory, although it will be a narrow one if they can make this field goal, is terribly important to them. Disappointment this must be for Raymond Berry and his New England Patriots, coming in with such great expectations, having played so well offensively and coming back very well in the second half. 2 long drives for touchdowns, only to see the Cowboys take it almost the length of the field to go ahead by 3 points, and with 4 seconds left on the clock, I'm afraid this game is history, and it's one that the Cowboys will savor, I'm sure. After that ugly defeat last week, they couldn't wait to get back out on the field today and do something besides lose a football game.
One would guess that Septien is not going to kick it high. He'll try to scoot it downfield to try to spoil any rhythm of a long return. And that's basically the only hope for New England, as they even go to the old rugby play. So the Patriots save their biggest quarter for last, the 2 touchdowns to tie it, only to find Danny White in a very solid drive toward the winning field goal. There's the final timeout for New England. It's interesting why you would call a timeout there. I guess as long as you got the money, you might as well spend it before they lock up the doors in the store.
Well, I'm not sure why you'd call that one, Dick.
As you see, Raymond Berry, a moment to share something I'll never forget. About 10 years ago, I was doing a show, Sports Challenge, and we had a lot of the great athletes there. And Joe DiMaggio, the show was all over, and Joe DiMaggio was leaving early from the post-taping party, and Raymond Berry ran after him and asked for his autograph. And I'll never forget, here was a Hall of Famer chasing another one from another sport. He said, it's the only time I ever met DiMaggio. I had to at least shake hands, ask him for an autograph. He's a fan himself, and the fans up in New England are going to like what this man does with the club. They already do.
Well, I can remember not liking what he did as an offensive end for the Colts. He put a lot of points on the board against the Rams when I was playing against him.
Did anyone ever run more exact patterns than Raymond Berry?
I think he wrote the book, Dick. And I think one of the things that's interesting about Berry, a man who worked so hard to perfect his own talents and came without great basic physical skills, is the kind of guy I think that makes a good coach.
Yeah, born nearsighted and with one leg shorter than the other, and he just made himself a great player. So 4 seconds, and finally the kickoff by Septien.
That's out of bounds.
Yeah, I don't think they want to go home to dinner.
Well, if you suffered through that one last week and had to stay on the field when you're losing, maybe those Cowboys want to stay out there a while and have a chance to feel this crowd being in their corner.
So 5 yards on the penalty, and of course Septien has to put it in play this time, or New England can get the ball with still 4 seconds left and a play from scrimmage. The executive producer of NBC Sports, Michael Weissman, coordinating producer of our football coverage, Ted Nathanson. Today's game was produced by Larry Cirillo, co-produced by George Finkel, directed by Ted Nathanson. NFL 84, produced by John J. Filippelli. NFL 84, directed by Bucky Gunst. Bruce Berquist, Richard Sansevier. Our technical directors, John Libretto, Doug Graybird. Associate directors, associate producers, Jeff Himes, Tom Roy, Rick Kamen. Joe Costanza and company, Doug Adams, Joe Pereski, Jerry Cohen, Mitch Lewis. Thanks to all the men and women who brought you this Thanksgiving game. And now, apparently, the final play. Tony Collins.
Watch the rugby play here. There it goes.
And there it goes, the flag down. There was a forward lateral and all of that. The Dallas Cowboys have won a thrilling Thanksgiving game. And Tom Landry, oh, how he needed a victory today, 2017.
He's got to be terribly happy and terribly proud. And this man may be the happiest of all the Cowboy players on the field.
Ray Berry, who coached under Tom Landry, are two of the greats of this game. For Bob Greasy and Merlin Olsen, this is Dick Enberg. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, and so long from Texas.